That is us actually live now. So, welcome to 2021. We survived 2020. Yay?
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Pretty well worse if you get 2020.
Well, 2021 could actually have a darker name than 2020.
Yes,
we won't know until the end.
Let's try not to think about that.
Let's not read the book until it's finished.
That's right.
So, today we have at the table Stefan, who's playing, if you remember.
Currently playing Tidal Rift. That's something happens else.
I like that currently.
Yeah, see what happens. Yeah, playing Tidal Rift with Wolf Nazi Monk. And we've been stuck in prison for a while, so.
We have. And on the other side of the table we have Paul.
Who is a blue-haired high elf warlock, a nice one. The nice one, mate. Actually, sort of getting great. What size do warlocks?
Well, there is the Fey Warlock, which is, well, as nice as an elf
actually
is.
No, Fey warlock is an ass. I am not that.
No, just joking.
Yes, diplomat and all-round nice person, and older than the rest of the party combined.
No total and could easily outnumber you.
That's possible.
As a Nazi lifespan is
Yeah.
similar or greater than that of some elves.
Yes. On the other hand, what I'm aiming at eventually is to actually turn into an actual dragon.
Yep. And then online we have Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Pedadir, the ex-lawman of the Atruaghin clan, who's now trying to fill the spiritual guidance position for the clans and for the party.
So I don't have to be the wise one.
I know you still have to be wise, he's the talker.
Yes.
Of the ancestors, not of the actual current ones.
Yes. He's,
Sort of like the horse whisperer, but the guidance whisperer.
true.
Your father doesn't like you.
He's the PC whisperer.
Your grandfather's watching over you right now.
Absolutely.
Dirty old bastard.
Okay, so to catch people up to where we were, considering it has been about a month. Last we had it, you had been given a job by the headmaster of the Great School of Magic to go off to Alphatia and deliver them a message to the Empress, telling them that Galantry harbours no illegal magics, considering they don't actually have illegal magic in their country unless it be divine. The divine-based magic is illegal in the nation, but there are no other illegal magics that a wizard can do.
Yes. And officially my magic is arcane, but they probably disagree with something.
Well, it's a bit wishy-washy.
I have a patron that may or may not be an actual divine being.
They don't care about
The
that.
patron doesn't have to be. It's the fact I heal, they don't like that.
It's more of the warlocks and bards are tolerated.
Yeah.
Druids and rangers are disapproved of, and clerics and paladins are
Just straight out, yeah.
So this disapproval means that you have no protection. So, but the other one is they're encouraged to be on.
Yeah.
So if you're a cleric or a paladin, they will go out of their way to regulate that.
Yes, I'm not illegal, just a persecution target.
You're just someone that they will be very discriminatory towards.
Now, I'm a persecution target.
Okay. So,
On top of which, I'm pretty than all.
so you took a gnomish airship all the way over to Alphatia on a nice journey, passing over much of what they call the known world, a tiny little segment of the continental Ruin, VRUN, however you want to pronounce that one. However you pronounce it is correct, even if you all pronounce it differently. Okay. I don't discriminate against bad pronunciations.
That's true.
Considering I don't think they could be worse than mine. So, you spent time traveling, you arrived there, you're enjoying the wonders of high magic that makes Galantry look low tech.
Yes, it's very pretty and it's very spectacular.
Especially
And
when
the
it's,
bastards arrested us.
especially when it's the integration of all types of magic together.
Mm.
There is no illegal casting in Alphadia,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're a citizen. And all citizens.
Can't even buy a license.
But you can convert and get a license upon conversion.
I'm presuming they don't allow you to just give up your conversion that you did.
No, anyone who gives up their conversion is considered a enemy of the nation.
See that? I can see that.
Yeah. I did sort of mention people when I described the difference between Alphatia and Viatus, where Alphatia was very much a convert or die, and Viatus was we'll take your uniqueness and incorporate it into us. And people can leave with that and Empire. Very few people leave the Alphatia Empire. It's so notable that anyone who manages to leave it is noteworthy.
If they survive for a couple of years, they get Song of Summer.
I think it's more if you survive a month, you get a song sung.
Managed to survive a couple of years.
A couple of years, you're considered close to a demigod.
Yeah, because you have to be that powerful to get there.
So you spend the time that you were in the last session there traveling to see the Empress.
Yep.
And you managed to get in to your council meeting and present your letter to the actual assembly of the 1,000 wizards.
Well, I like it.
Considering it's actually 1,000 archmages, not just 1,000 wizards. You have to be an archmage to sit on the council of wizards. Plus their
They're all wacky assholes.
Yep. Plus all their other high-level people who sit on there, because each of their high priests has a seat at the table. I think at this stage I have there'd be close to about 100 different high priests sitting on council as well. And you'd also have various philosophies, each with their own seat on the council, until you have the Empress herself. And each of those philosophies relates to combining of elements to the elements themselves. Because most of the nation is about how they combine magic. Anyone who doesn't use magic is not really sensible. And considering most natives born here have an innate use for magic, even the local thieves have some form of magical ability.
Okay.
So a street thug might actually beat you up with magic.
Surprised still control the good speaker.
Did?
Yeah. Apparently it's give me shared controls of music off the speaker. That was even played.
Someone may have started doing that.
Look, randomly started playing music after I told the shut up.
Well, as long as you're on the network, you get access.
Party decision on my choice of 4th level spell. Would it be more useful, particularly considering we're in prison and might want to maybe run away from things at some point, for me to get hallucinatory terrain, which is actually quite large? Or should I get flame strike?
Well, it probably won't matter, because if you're in prison, you haven't had a chance to look at your spell book to actually
I'm a baller. I get it back after bloody 5 minutes.
Flame strike. There's nothing says vengeance more than flame after prison time.
Especially since I get a bonus on flame damage.
Okay, so after you presented your letter to the council, you met with the Empress's personal consort. His name was General Tornell. And we ended the session with the four of you waking up next to the dead body of General Tornell with memory of having killed him. As well as having a conversation with him at the same time, both overlapping.
Yeah.
And so we are picking up this session some 6 months after that event. You have been in prison for quite some time, and you have been under the protection of the former Emperor Atruaghin, father of the Empress.
So when you say under the protection of the former, does that mean there's been a recent change in rulership?
Yeah, the rulership changed like 100 years ago, so still fairly recent.
Oh, but okay, not in the last 6 months though.
No.
So does that mean the former emperor is still alive?
The former emperor is still alive, yes.
Okay.
He's one of the few emperors who's actually stood down.
Yep.
So I'm presuming protection in this case is he's the reason why we haven't been regularly beaten up even in the political prison.
So the political
So
prison.
remember Vietnam.
The political prison has actually been, you have been held in the palace in one of the side wings with the, being told that if you leave the wing, you will be executed.
So it's a pretty severe house arrest, but I'm presuming we can get in people to, say, teach us stuff.
And he has been bringing people in.
Brilliant.
Because he does not, he has disagreed with the policy of execution for execution's sake.
Perfectly reasonable, especially since we're a target.
Especially considering the general himself was an advocate for peace, and executing you would accelerate the war. And
Yes,
not
it would.
executing you may also accelerate the war, but you'd rather
But
err
there's
on the
more
side of
options this way. There's more options, not killing people. So basically, so apart from gaining a reputation, we could do a normal downtime.
That's why we'll talk between sessions when I finally get through the pile of goals,
Yes.
which is slowly getting updated on the website, mind you. Slowly when I'm saying 10 a day.
Still, 160 odd, that's still quite a amount of time.
Well, I've got them written up until Saturday. And that means that there's another 5 days to do after that I haven't done yet. Okay, so you are currently being looked after by a cousin known as Galatia of one of the kingdoms of Atruaghin. So she has basically been seen to most of your needs, while Tylian has been in many discussions with the Great Council. Considering the Great Council is deciding your outcome, no one's expecting it to actually reach a conclusion in the next year or so.
Yeah, that sounds about the right amount of discussion time for something like this.
The main point of contention at the moment is form of execution.
Right. So not discussing whether, it's how.
And that's what's been tying him up for the last 6 months.
So you mentioned that we woke up with conflicting memories ourselves.
Yes.
Over the last 6 months, have we been able to decipher our own memories?
You remember basically having a long conversation with him about the strange events relating to the pacifist gods getting angry and asking for militarism So the gods of peace are asking for war.
Which is really wrong.
And basically the leader of the nation's army, their war leader, was asking for peace. And he was the one who got assassinated by you and your memories. So the spokesman for peace died.
So someone's not just setting us up, they're setting us up explicitly as agents provocateur. Because otherwise, why would we turn up and say, we would like peace? And a person who also wants peace gets killed by us. That makes no sense. Unless we're being set up to take a rather...
Well, but also, remember, we're representatives of Galantry. Everyone can quite happily believe that...
I know that.
Any Galantry would want to kill any Alphatian. Like, it doesn't have to make sense.
Because as a nation, they have a deep-seated hatred of each other.
Yes, but my point is, we're not Alphatian or Galantrian. We're
But
outsiders.
we're Galantrian in the Alphatians' eyes. At least in the Alphatian common citizens' eyes.
Yes, but they're not the ones making the decision.
But they're the ones influencing it.
And amongst you, you have a water genasi who is considered a traitor to the people. Because all genasi are expected to be Alphatian.
Right, so a lot of this is based around Alphatian arrogance.
And you also have a air genasi who comes from Galantry. So he is the representation of everything that Alphatian is, or not being Alphatian.
Okay, yeah, so remember, because we have actually got a Galantrian amongst us.
Yes.
So you've got someone who just his pure existence is a slap in the face of the nation. So that's basically the if you were to say like the white male 20 to 30s perfect example of an American sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what the originality are to these people.
Yes. I did take a Nazi poster boy as a character in one game.
Which is why I gave it that look.
No, well, that's the thing. He was a Nazi poster boy. The thing is, he was Swiss, and another member of the party was actually a Nazi. He wasn't a
So
Nazi.
yeah,
Nazi.
Martin, for Pettidier though, as I say, the most important thing he needs to work out is, irrespective of what we're being tried or executed for, he wants to know what he did.
Okay, so
the point, so he'd be, say, if he's got conflicting memories when woken up type stuff, and then obviously his first goal would be to sort out his own innocence or guilt, because that would depend upon how much he decides to try and fight any attempt to undergo justice in that sort of way. So his first point of call would be trying to call upon the spirits and the ancestors in a quiet moment to ask them the question of, did I do it? Or did my friends do it?
okay, so to put simply, when you actually get a chance to commune with the ancestors respond with a yes and a no.
So yes, I did it, but my friends didn't.
For both of them. So the
answer is yes and no.
Because it is a very complicated thing. Because yes, you did it, and no, you didn't do it at the same time.
So my guess there is our bodies did it, but our minds weren't there at the time. Somebody else was running.
No, you have what I was saying, two sets of memories of events. You have
okay, the mind is definitely indicating that he remembers doing it.
And what the spirits are able to tell you is both timelines are valid.
Yeah. Not one and then something weird. Okay,
so technically
they're both correct.
Technically both of them are correct.
So our defense is correct in protecting itself.
So technically it wasn't you who did it, and technically it was you who did it.
Well, then, as I say, this has got 6 months of questioning to try and follow up on in that sense, if we can't get anything clearer.
Yes.
The questioning of, if I did it, why?
If the retired has the retired emperor been able to find anything out from it? Has he been able to bring in anyone who can explicate any of this? I'm presuming no. Because otherwise you'd have started with that.
He has brought in many experts to examine you, and each expert has come back with the same result in yes, you did do it, and no, you didn't do it at the same time. So everything that will only ever give one answer gives two.
Right. Which unfortunately doesn't give us a valid defence, because we could then be accused of, well, you've done it, but you've also done some sort of magic which makes it hard to discern.
The people who have been
Which is
doing
valid.
the people who are doing the checking have never been this confused in, as far as they know, and
Yeah.
the magic that they're using cannot be defeated by more than leaders.
Right. So at that point we can say, well, it can't be our fault. We're not powerful enough to do that shit.
So you're basically having archmages walking in and examining you.
Yes. And despite the fact that there is no way in the world we can have done it. We can have done that particular magic.
And the magic
Or
that,
possibly even held it for long enough for it to work.
and the magic that you have used in the memories of where you killed him was way beyond your level.
And that's another thing as well. So we've got multiple archmages having that experience, and they're still discussing how to kill us.
Because they don't know how you got access to the magic.
If somebody else was running us, we don't have that access. Which has been my point for 6 months.
I know. And that's what the Tylon has basically been trying to say is,
Yes.
if they had this level, you wouldn't be able to hold them.
Yeah. And unfortunately, everything that you've said they're working for is they did it. We just have to work out how. Yeah.
As directed by the Empress.
Yeah. Well, the impression is just.
So how do we remember we did it?
You remember you doing it by basically doing Praedir did a high level hold person. Hyde basically locked all the doors and blocked all the and basically blocked everyone else from access to magic using water to basically cut everything off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Llewell actually do the blow by basically pulling him out using dark essence.
So was Xander present?
Xander was present, and Xander basically was telling you how to do it. He was directing everyone.
Not only is that 10 levels beyond where we are, I can't do that.
And neither can any of the others.
Oh, no. I'll
Was
never be able to do that. Ever.
our barbarian friend present?
No, your barbarian friend is not present.
And was not present for the murder?
And was not present for the murder.
Okay. Was Drazel present?
Drazel was present,
What
but
did he do?
Drazel was also not present at the same time. Drazel was only in one set of your memories.
So he was present for the discussion with him or the murder?
The discussion.
So he's not with us now then? He hasn't been held in house arrest?
He wanders in every now and again.
Yeah, so okay. So it's not actually like, yes, he's not held by us because there's no evidence that he was there.
And they technically have a hard time holding him too.
So,
He seems to
so
be
what-
considered
okay.
an honorary citizen of the nation.
Okay, what we're saying is the fact that, yes, technically the one person who potentially could have done everything is the one that's not actually in danger.
Very much so.
Because he was careful enough to ensure that our memories did not include him.
It could happen that way. So after you've now had about 6 months of downtime with books, education, discussions, nice food, a couple of assassination attempts, many poking and prodding by various powers that be. On the other hand,
We get fed.
yep. And you've also had many artifacts used against you.
Where?
Against, not all.
Well,
But
they all have their purposes, and apparently they don't work on them.
that should weed out at least some of the Archmages.
It does. Which is the main reason the arguments of for and against execution is don't use my artifact is the main contention point.
Right. So a lot of it, therefore, is them arguing over whose artifact to use, and the owner involved going, fuck no, pretty much. Only diplomatically, which is why it takes a couple of days.
So do the conflicting memories start the same way?
They start the same way in conversation with him, and then you find that you have, at one point you have a flash of light, at which point you either jump up and assault him, or you sort of all look in a certain, all look at towards Drazzle as Drazzle fades away,
Okay.
and then that's where your memory of and you guys pass out at that point.
Okay. So. If both,
And
if
so
both-
we're equipped and dressed the same way?
Yeah.
If both memories are considered as real as each other from the analyses from the Archmages, therefore a time mage is involved, therefore it's probably Proteus.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing about Drazzle just fanning me like, oh fuck this time, I'm out.
That is almost exactly what he would have done.
But a time mage would not explain the abilities.
No, that's something else. A time
Like,
mage.
yes,
Okay.
potentially
A
there
time
was some
mage
time
is-
travel involved, which is why I was asking
A
about whether
time-
our equipment and appearance were the
Okay.
same.
What was actually done is easy enough to do. What it does, what it takes a time mage to do, is make it so that both memories are valid.
But what I'm getting at is that,
The powers can come from almost anything, including demons.
well, but the idea being the fact that what we did, apparently ourselves,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Someone can, in one timeline, have possessed us, done the deed, and then left, while in the other timeline we just had a chat. They
But if they
used,
possessed
they
us, we
used,
wouldn't have
hold on,
memories.
hold on. They used the switch of timeline, this is my supposition. They used the short burst of the other timeline to conceal the fact that the powerful beings that were to come in to possess us and do all the work, to conceal their entry and their exit by making it a short timeline and starting it just before they arrive and end just after they leave. Just before they leave. You can't see them. You can't see the creatures, whatever it is, the mages, demons, whatever, that came in that actually did the deed. It's a hell of an assassination trick.
And Jeremy, from your memory investigations, give me a perception roll with advantage.
Yeah. I didn't say it took a time mage to actually.
In a world
Do-
with
do
time
the
magic
math.
is accessible.
and 22.
Okay, so one thing you did notice in the timeline where you were assassinating the guy, you didn't draw your sword at any point in higher instance.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, if I'm too busy casting high-level clerical spells.
For what you were doing, your sword would have been far more devastating.
Yes. So, well, presumably, if say, on the idea that if the I was attacking with justification, then
Well,
It would be the thought that, particularly in that situation, that the only reason I could think of that I would be attacking someone would be if I saw the influence or the application of Atruaghin.
And the other thing is, if you were possessed by a creature, the creature would not be able to draw the sword or touch it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Plus, of course, you may have been possessed by something or someone who can't use a sword and wouldn't think of it.
But as I said, like I would have thought though that if you're possessed, you wouldn't normally end up with the memories of that attack.
No, depends how possession is done. Some demons can possess you and have you conscious the entire time.
And basically unable to act by having the horror of everything the creature's done in your body and
yeah, they don't possess you, they possess just your body.
But in that situation, you'd have the memory of still being possessed and being unable to do anything. Like if you remember enough to know what you're doing.
That may have been some sort of mental spell by probably the same time mates that set it up, or somebody else. But things like the void suck thing that was described on what I did. Not only am I not yet remotely of a power to do that, I can't actually do that. It's not in my power list. Not in my spell list. I can't do that.
And basically, one thing Paul managed to figure out is what you did to the guy. You shredded his soul in such a way he couldn't be brought back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you actually pulled out his essence, you basically
that's the thing. Pull it out, dissipate it. I can't do that.
You've never heard of anyone who can?
No, that's a demon thing.
Not even demons do that.
Shit, we got possessed by gods.
Probably.
No one dissipates the soul. They use the soul, and the soul can be recovered. You made it so the soul couldn't be recovered, which is why they haven't brought him back. That level of magic.
Okay. Once I found that out, the moment I find out about the soul dissipation, destruction, I'm going to spend some time doing research, either in my own head or ask the library, on what sort of being can do that, what sort of ability would be required to have to do that, because that's entropy mage stuff. And that's serious great entropy mage stuff.
Most godlike abilities don't do that.
Yeah. Because the gods need the souls too bloody much. It's not something they would do.
And Tidal's ability to use magic to counter all magic. It's something Tidal had not even dreamed of as a possibility.
That would be an elemental demigod power, not a half and half like you.
Apparently.
Well, so at level 21, you're a demigod now. Now you can do that.
But technically speaking, if anyone had powers over time,
That's what I'm saying. Proteus is all his fault.
And yet Proteus isn't one of the most powerful gods of time.
No, there are more.
Cronus is the master.
Yes. So basically, whoever did that is either a high-end follower of one of the rather modern dozen gods, or is a group of them, more or less.
So from your research, what you do know is of the 5 elements, entropy is the one most likely to be able to destroy something to the point it cannot be returned. Because the whole purpose of entropy is utter destruction.
Yeah.
The god Thanatos himself, the head honcho of entropy, the sole job is to destroy everything, including himself. Everything then himself.
Oh yeah, it's definitely come with the lights as you leave.
And of all the gods, he is one of the scariest ones to go up against because all he's known as the Grim Reaper. anything he reaches does not come back. Whereas nearly any other god of destruction or death will use what they take. Other gods have moved his ability. So, and he taught nearly every god in entropy right. So when I say head honcho of entropy,
Very much so.
and he does look like the Grim Reaper when he looks around.
So we've got a whole cyclone of really good evidence that it can't actually have been us. And because the Empress doesn't agree with us, it's still working out what execution method is. Fortunately, no one has decided that a dagger through the heart of a person is sufficient to the task at hand. Otherwise, we would be dead yesterday.
Well, technically, no one wants to take responsibility for it either.
Just in case some interim remains comes after their ass.
Well,
And plus, of course, there's the diplomatic factor.
it's a Galantry has put in its objection to what you're doing. The Grand Master of School of Magic himself has basically threatened the Alphakian Empire.
Well, we're their diplomats. We're official and everything.
And
the Galantry is not accepting diplomatic.
well, they got you out of one frying pan and into the fire. So, during all this time, Drazzle has spent part of that time away. He's been doing research for you and bringing stuff to you. So he's the one who goes out and gets half the stuff you ask for. Because most of the other people aren't willing to be seen working for you. Galatia has shown up with bruises on more than one occasion after leaving your apartment. So people have been treated badly just for association with you.
The Empress is being influenced somehow.
And what you find out from Galatia is she's not considered a true Alphakian because she grew up on the Viator side of the Rival War. So she's considered a lesser class citizen, even though she is a citizen of Alphakian. This is basically how they treat people like that. They think she's too kind-hearted towards you.
So we learn how the people in the lines, the Black Lives Matter protest. Can you talk?
And she's basically a up-and-coming wizard. Though she specializes in earth magic.
Okay.
Well, they do teach that the element of magic is important. And the nobility all learn air magic first.
Of course.
And the common people get to learn earth, fire, and water. Though they do discuss that the shadier elements learn darkness instead.
Well, that would be their assumption.
Well, it is one of their talents, and that's why a lot of people use magic in the shadows. The shadows are the magic. And so when Drazzle comes back, he says he's managed to scrape together something that may help.
Somewhat, sorry?
He's managed to scrape together something that may help. Drazzle may help.
What has Drazzle found, Mr. Drazzle?
Drazzle found a way to send you backward to fix problem.
We are actually going to go through now. Okay. When are you going to put us, Mr. Basil? Where?
Rezel not sure. Rezel but Rezel not get good answer. He pats you on the shoulder when he says that.
So that good answer, was that just hard to understand, not useful for the circumstance, or is it actually bad for the money?
Rezel just listens to all that and he goes, yes.
Thank you, Drizzle. I think I need a drink.
Rezel have that. He had you some more.
Oh. No, I was hoping you'd put the whiskey.
He purifies everything that comes in for you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, they get Rezel walled up. Ever since they started doing sending in poison food.
That's the point, they'd do that, wouldn't they?
So that's why he's been giving the food and stuff for you. He's kept you busy.
So, until then, if they went there when Drizzle said that. Drizzle apparently has a plan and a way to send us back to fix the problem, but he can't tell us exactly when or where we're going to end up.
Back as in before it all began. Right. For another 6 months in prison, that's forward to a year.
Well, that they do say you might have a year and a half to go before they can make up their mind. And considering they're only discussing how to kill you, not to set you free. That's the point of discussion, not the actual crime.
Because if we do it right, then get arrested, we'll end up in jail with ourselves. That'll give us twice as many us's to work with.
But only once have you got arrested.
So far.
You have seen multiple Grezels at the same time.
I know. That's the thing, if we get looped on each other, and looped on ourselves, someone just goes, oh, you're under house arrest, and pushes us through the door without checking to see if there's anyone already in there, which they would do.
You could have an army of you.
Yes! Do that 8 or 9 times, how much damage could we do? On the other hand, they've got 1,000 friggin' archmages. Need a lot of us.
So, Grezel's sitting by waiting in case anyone wants further explanation from Grezel.
Well, Penedier's become a bit despondent at the idea of that he can't tell whether he should be turning himself in or not.
Well, technically you've already been arrested, so...
Yes, but the idea being that, I say,
He's trying to work out whether he needs to arrest himself.
if he's guilty, then...
Yes, but you're not. You weren't there at the time.
But I was, I remember it.
He remembers being there, remembers not being there at the same time.
Yeah, but you weren't the one doing it.
And he remembers
I still remember
enjoying
doing
doing it, and he remembers enjoying the conversation.
I recognised that I was unable to do it. But I remember doing it.
Well, there is the thing too, that you're not the sort of person to enjoy killing people. You do it only by necessity. Therefore,
as I say, he recognises that
feeling like you're enjoying
all the circumstances of the way the killing was done would imply it wasn't him. But that doesn't stop him remembering doing it.
And that's with each of your memories. Each of the memories of your actions are not your personality. But you do feel as if you did it, and the feeling of it is very abhorrent to how you believe in yourself. And the powers you were using were not powers you had. Or
as I said, we were possessed, but we weren't.
Well,
suppressed.
they say that's not much of a comfort for Pettidear, the idea that he was possessed, because presumably that was, as I say, the only one he would know that would do such things would be Atruaghin.
Which it might have been, except this was a political hit.
Oh,
But it would be the fact that if it was, then again, Pettidear's failed.
Xantiotl is a major god of corruption, and he has destroyed your patron's civilization more than once. With your patron trying to stop him.
So the idea being that if Pettidear was the instrument of his goals and his will, then again, he's not certain what...
Well, that's the thing, though. With what Martin just said about Xantiotl, we've worked against Xantiotl, against that particular god a couple of times.
And Praedia announced himself to him directly.
And so he's going to have a direct enmity to us, not just who we follow.
Not to you, to Praedia.
Yeah, well, Praedia, and to us because we follow basically gods that are against him. But he's got a hard on for you. Plus, of course, any chance of corrupting anything that might be useful, he's going to jump at. So it might well be Xantiotl for his minions. I don't know if he's got any active demigods that have similar powers.
Of the gods, what they call the initiate gods, I think call them the demigods.
So does he have it?
They all have it. They have gods.
Right.
So there's about 40 odd gods eventually. And it goes from demigod to supreme gods.
Yes. And all of them either are or have been level 21 adventurers who ascended. Which is actually pretty scary when you think about the minus the least of the minor demigods. Many of the gods are likely to be ex-adventurers.
Every one of them is ex-adventurer. Not like in this world. They all
Because the only way to get to that level is to go adventure.
Okay, so Drazzle comes over and says, tomorrow, if you wish to go, the time will be right.
Well, I'm keen to see what Drazzle has to.
Yeah, Mr. Drazzle, please do your thing.
He will go get preparations happening. And he wanders off whistling a strange tune. Which, considering he doesn't whistle very often, is very unsettling.
Dragonborn don't have lips. What the hell is he doing?
Time whistling.
Obviously.
Okay, so did you guys want to do or have anything of preparation before Drazzle sent you backwards?
Pray.
We haven't got any preparation to do, except possibly switch around our spells, which I'm not going to do on the warlock.
So during the time of our house imprisonment, we still had all our belongings.
You still have all your belongings because, well, when the ex-emperor decrees something, very few people will stand against him.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone still salutes him.
So I get on my horse.
Okay, so during the day, you see that in one of the rooms, Drazzle's been carving into the floor, into the stone.
I was about to say, people aren't going to like that at the moment. I don't freaking care. Because either we're about to be executed and it won't matter, or we'll fix it and it won't have happened. Or it will, but no one will see it.
Armoured and weaponed.
ready to go.
Okay, so
I'm also going to tie my hair up so I look different to what I normally do. Just in case this is important.
when you run into yourself.
Exactly. That way the others will know which one of them is me. Or with the hair tied up.
So Drell spends about 12 hours carving into the end stone before he's finished.
Right.
And from what you can see of it, he seems to have done runes of all elements.
Given what I've seen so far, I think that's quite reasonable. I've seen some of the other.
It looks very similar to what you've seen burnt into the ground.
Yes.
Just not as well done. Most of the stuff in the ground was very indistinct, whereas this is precise.
Well, yes, that's a side effect of the thing activating the range. This is something carving.
And it's big enough for his cart to sit in.
Of course, he's going to need the cart for this, isn't he? I don't know how he's going to get the cart in here.
Well, they had
I
no
think
problems
it's-
with bringing it in.
I was about to say, given what actually pulls that, and given who it is, I'll let him bring it through the corridors.
Well, as far as they're concerned, he's an honorary citizen. You've only heard of about 5 honorary citizens in your time.
Yes, this is just Drazzle being Drazzle, I think.
The dragons themselves are considered honorary citizens.
I can see.
If you turn into a dragon, you'd be considered an honorary citizen.
I can almost turn into a dragon. What?
Just turn to a half dragon and half citizen.
I'm not sure that happens out
Don't worry, they're only half executed.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Which half would you like?
The outside half, the inside, look, how much later?
Don't worry, they could come off a magical item to do that.
Quite probably.
So we'll keep the inside of you alive forever and the outside of you always burning.
Yes.
Okay, so after when Razzle's finished, he comes and grabs each of you and brings you into the chamber. He says, to go backwards, you'll need to fix something. And once you fix things, you will return.
Right.
Hopefully, things different.
Good for me.
Oh, good. So we're going quantum leap.
Something like that.
Whose body will we jump into?
He looks at you and says, you take Buddy with you. If you take other Body, would that be wrong?
Probably.
Plus time affected by what you do.
My concern is that this is what's leading to the original problem.
Possibly.
But if you not fix time, time break. You came here because you changed time. If you do not go back and change time, then you're not going to sent here in the first place.
So for
Time break.
70 seconds time you've done this and you don't even realise.
Yeah.
No, first time done this.
In this timeline.
Yes.
In your timelines, first time you've done this.
Friggin' time drag.
Just you have not yet gone back and done what you've already done.
Right, so we have to do what we've succeeded in doing already to stop breaking the world.
Because you've already done what you haven't
Okay.
done yet, so
In
if you don't do it...
In our personal timelines, we haven't done it yet, but we have to. because it's already
Because we've
complete.
already done it.
Because it's already complete.
Because history says you left today.
Okay.
Right.
So we go back and murder this guy and then we're fine.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
Drizzle fixed time, Drizzle not fixed political death.
Okay. Alright.
Right. Drazzle, seeing you know so much about what's going on with this, what we're supposed to have done and so on.
Yes.
Do you know anything about what was riding us when the general died?
Drizzle not know Drizzle was banished. Drizzle was in another dimension until after
Possibly keep you safe.
punishment.
But, well, except for the fact that Drazzle was there for at least one of the attempts.
Drizzle felt
One of the
something and
memories.
was set away.
I was about to say Drazzle do something wrong. No, Drazzle did something and someone perceived it as wrong.
Drizzle would know because Drizzle would have tried to stop. Time not work same on Drizzle.
No. I've seen how you change. In both directions.
Drizzle sending you more than 50 years.
We're not fixing our problem, we're fixing the bigger problem.
Small problem fix, big problem not fix.
So, what are we going back to fix? You guys weren't born yet, I was still in school.
Problem England.
Which means what we don't want is people look up historical records and find nothing.
Drizzle have those
They
records.
technically be future records.
Only for us. For them, it's past record. We've got to be able to separate the timeline from our personal timelines. Because our personal timelines, because we have Drazzle, are doing this.
Yeah.
And you will meet someone you have already met, but have not yet met.
Probably. Oh yeah, that me. Like I'm slowly learning Drizzle and getting there.
If you not fix a curse, the curse will continue.
What?
Deacon.
Okay.
You will be there for the curse.
Is there anything that presently can be got quickly that will describe to us the present curse that we're trying to fix?
You pat you on the shoulder. You will do what is right.
Yes.
Explain too much.
Line B is
Change
padding
the
the
other
other
way.
way.
Heroes do what heroes do.
We know this by now. Nothing
Mess up, screaming with fire everywhere.
Gradually enjoy.
I know, that's why you enjoy it. Sorry, what did you say?
I said nothing is ever simple.
Of course not. Things are particularly convoluted in Brazil.
There's one language I ever want to learn. It's really fluent in Brazil. One day.
Well, I've got Draconic, I'm halfway there.
Okay, you see him get out a flask of water and start pouring it over the room of water. Because he just sort of floats in a little gelatinous, I'd say sphere, but it's going to come around and move. It's just constantly moving.
Nice. He's cooking gelatinous.
I want one as a pet. Just for one. But
Don't worry, it doesn't need much. Just bits of you every day.
yeah, it doesn't reach up much. Just a little bit of everything. Yeah.
What if we don't keep it in your pants? Ah, yes, my artifact's in. Never mind.
But it's in my pocket. I had a pocket.
Yes, I've got the an RPG set of comics. and one of the things that turns out to be a repeating sub-character is a druid who is missing one hand and one leg, and has a pet gelatinous cube, so to speak. He fought one once. He won. He was melee the gelatinous cube, which is very impressive.
Okay, so Drezel then goes through and does something similar for each of the other elements. You see all these elements suspending and then suddenly becoming the actual same symbol of the
So he's rather better with ritual magic than we used to. But then he's had time to Drezel.
And so after he's done all this, you do see that the lines in the ground are connected to the lines that are floating aloft. In quite a strange way, especially if you're using magical deception.
I'll definitely use magical deception.
So in a magical deception, you basically see...
I'm just going to sit here and watch.
You basically see possibilities.
Yeah.
That every possibility is a universe in itself.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and watch.
And that the door exists in all.
Right. So as long as he doesn't actually summon Yogg-Sothoth, I think he's okay.
We'll wait and see.
Okay. Well, as long as you don't see sort of clusters of silver globules, probably fine.
And then after about an hour of this preparation, he opens the door, and instead of the black outline door you're used to, it's black.
White for backwards.
White for purpose. Black for nasty.
All those poor people who go through here.
Well, they never went for a purpose.
True. Of course, you could set up a person to stop them and just put them like a week away.
They went to where they were needed.
Right.
You could go to where you were needed or where you wanted.
Where we need to be at the moment, which is on the other side of that door, right?
That's where we want you.
And where we need to be.
You need to be where you personally believe you need to be. Not always the same as where the person wants you to be.
Well, that's true, but at the moment they're the same place.
You look like no, different place. I see where you want to be.
Well, where I want to be is out of here and having a beer, but given our present circumstance,
Possibility exists.
what I feel the need for is to be on the other side of that door, which is both your purpose and mine.
You agree. Door
Yeah.
open. You may step through.
Purpose not being designed.
Purpose is everything. Desire is everything.
So, on confusing everybody else in the party that steps through the door.
Yep, that happens.
Is Brady happy to step through the door?
Well,
Nobody's going
I wouldn't say happy, but he will follow.
He will do it anyhow.
Well, you didn't know you were going to step through at some point.
Yes.
Well, the point was that it's the kind of thing that, okay, he's not happy with his current situation, not certain whether things would get better or worse either way anyway, not entirely happy with the idea of going back to change things to potentially lead to the original problem.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, so as each of you steps through the threshold, you basically feel everything go dark and light at the same time.
Right.
As you have the first time you feel yourself detached from time. Not much of a pleasant experience because, you know, things like heartbeats are very much attached to time. Circulation, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Everything sort of just stops. still perceive everything, but nothing is seem to be working until a moment later you find yourself stepping out into
Yes.
the mist and everything's starting back.
It's the advantage of it, of course, is that aging and dying of lack of breath is also in time.
Basically, you can't die when you're out of time,
That's right.
but you can't live like
Yeah, there's a great way to spy.
Okay, and then you find that the four of you plus Dresel are now standing in some sort of mist.
Some sort of what, sorry?
Some
Mist.
sort of mist.
Right, so have a sniff first up. What's it smell like?
It smells of probably just like grass and sort of berries. You can smell a lot of berries around you.
So it's late spring or summer. Temperate. What's the temperature like?
It is nice and warm.
Still could be almost anywhere, but I'm guessing it's we'll see.
And it just has this, you can see a path slowly coming out of the mist, heading up what appears to be some sort of trail.
So the trail's appearing in the mist. Is that a trail that can we see any evidence of like forest or plants or stuff around? We can smell, but can we see?
You sort of see vague plants that seem to get more distinct the further you go up the trail.
Yeah.
Well, Heredier's going to do a bit of a circle first of all on the spot we appeared, and then presumably you will head up the trail if he doesn't find anything else of interest.
The further you head from away from the trail, you can see the more indistinct everything becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Staying on the trail
Well.
is the thing. You have the players have what candy?
Do I have one?
You were using it, I wasn't going to ask.
And as you're looking around, you see that everything here seems to be. You can't touch anything on the trail around you except for the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And
As in, like, hand just goes through it, or
hand goes through it.
okay, yep.
Only nearly here.
Well, we'll have a look down the trail a bit then.
Yes.
Okay, so as you start to walk up the trail, you start to feel the foliage and trees start to feel more real the further you go up.
Yeah.
Can I recognise the foliage?
It does look to be vine country,
Okay.
so grapes and that sort of thing.
But nowhere that I recognise.
Nothing that you've actually been yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the path seems to lead to a mansion.
As the path is and the surrounds of the path become a bit more solid, again, Heredity will have a look off the path to see whether or not there's a world that exists beyond the path, aside from ahead towards the mansion.
Okay, as you head off, the further you head away from the mansion and the path, the more indistinct it becomes again.
Right.
Seems that the mansion is the centre of this phenomenon.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm more like this, if I go off at effectively at right angles to the path, so virtually on a line that would allow a circle of the mansion, but the world quickly disappears as soon as you leave the path still.
Only the further you get from the mansion.
So we can walk around the grounds of the mansion.
You can.
Yeah. Grenadier would be interested in exploring exactly how big this world is. In the sense of how much of the how big are these mansion grounds before they disappear? Are there any other buildings on the grounds?
Trying to get these out for you. Well, I would say you would look at the grounds as being roughly half a mile, with the mansion in the centre. Very, very large castle-like mansion.
Yep. And are the grounds all well maintained lawns, or is the vineyard visible? Or
The vineyard is visible and seems to be. It doesn't look like it's maintained, but it also doesn't look like it's not maintained at the same time. There doesn't appear to be any fresh cutting, but there doesn't appear to be any growth either.
Okay.
Maintained in time.
So,
Possibly. Oh.
the others following Grenadier as he does an exploration of the grounds, or
We will everyone stay together.
I believe they all follow.
okay? So, do we come across any other pathways other than the first pathway?
You do see other pathways heading off from it, but that seems to be most of them seem to head towards the mansion in front of you.
All roads lead to the mansion.
Everything that seems to head away from it seems to go into the mists.
Okay. How many entrances to the mansion did we see?
From where you are, all the paths seem to lead to one of the entrances, but you can see 3 main entrances to the front of it.
But we didn't see any entrances to around the sides or the back?
No, you can see any entrances to the side or the back.
Well, I guess Grenadier went left off the path originally, so by the time we've gone back around, he'll take the first of the paths that lead back to the front of the mansion, which I guess will take us towards the door that would have been on the right of the main pathway we came in. Assuming, of course, we came down the middle pathway originally.
Well, you seem to have been started on the main pathway. Okay, so getting you to that location. You basically see a big, grand, sprawling mansion. You can see at least a level above I think there are multiple levels to it. I'm just trying to figure out, because to be honest, the maps are confusing.
Well, that's all right. They're not the only ones that are confused.
So the mansion is a 2-story mansion that seems to have 2 main wings, a centre area, and a chapel at the back. Considering we believe this is Galantry, something in Galantry actually having a chapel is
That's
not.
a bit weird. Yeah.
Why do we believe it's Galantry?
Because Drazel told you that you were heading to Galantry.
That's not necessarily good enough for Grenadier in any way, shape or form.
Okay, so as you look around...
Can we recognise what the chapel is
What the
Devoted to?
First, I'll give you a intelligence check to see if you can remember details from last time you were here.
Intelligence check of 10.
Okay. You don't recognize anything particular here relating to what you've done previously.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if bringing the others along they help. How good is Lowell at remembering?
History is one of my best skills.
Yeah, but this was just the intelligence check.
I know that. But yeah, history is remembering things is a thing I do. Also,
Well, first it's the
Flame
intelligence
strike
check,
is
and then there'll be a history check after that.
yes, flame strike is rather good.
Each level of power has one means to what you play, because they give you so few high level spells.
Yeah.
You generally only get one spell slot of each level.
Yes. So yeah, when you get something mean, you want to use it. Although then there's the early novel with the putatively insane spellcaster who goes, I've got fireball to almost every solution, including at one point with someone using featherfall, him doing featherfall, screwing it up and making 30 feet deep of actual feathers, which still save lives.
Remember that dragon that's terrible.
Yes. And then fireballing something
Fizbin.
on reflex. Fizbin. Yes. Fireballing something on reflex and having it be exactly the right spell to use. I use this thing.
There was nothing wrong with Fizbin.
Hides my result. Fizbin was a god, and therefore could do what he wanted. In check, 18.
Okay, so looking at the building bears the crest of the headmaster of the Great School of Magic.
I relate this to the others. So
history check.
now my history check. Let's hope I get the same number. It's not actually in the thing. Better. 24.
Okay, you remember that the headmaster himself had been trapped in a dimension in the past and was rescued by a bunch of adventurers.
I try to remember the whole story having got to that point.
It was not something that was widely told because the adventurers
No.
disappeared not long after,
Yes.
as if they were never there.
Yes. But all of the stuff about that I remember, I will relate to the others.
And he was basically trapped in time. His
Yes.
entire family was.
Right. So my guess, guys, this is what we're doing.
And it was a curse laid on his family.
And it's explicitly a curse. So this is a curse we have to fix because we're rescuing somebody we've already dealt with and has given us stuff.
So you mean we're once again looking for the artifact that rang the bell artifact?
Yes.
Which means you do realise that if you don't actually rescue the headmaster, or become the headmaster, you can't have sent you on a quest. That gets you then sent back to rescue him.
Yes. Which also leads me to think that if the headmaster knows anything at all about this, he's the one who set this whole situation up so we can be forced to come back and rescue him. So he's either an innocent dupe and we're somebody else's tools, or he's using us as tools. Given the way things are going, I'd put money on them both being true.
Well, hey, if he knew that you were caught in a political thing and you freed yourself, went back in to save him,
Exactly.
would he then not send you on the same thing that got you to go back and save
Okay,
him?
he's being about to be rescued by us. He's going to recognize us.
Well, except we haven't done it yet.
Pretty. From his timeline, yes, we have. Or we're about to. From his timeline, or from where we're from.
Are you sure?
Yes. Look, don't knock it. I can visualize this as long as I don't push it too much because it's fragile.
Your memories are based on his interactions that occurred after he sent us.
Yes. So's Drazzle's. He's the one running the time machine.
So
Stop
can we,
thinking about it. It's
can
not
we
going to work.
recognise what god that the chapel is devoted to?
Looking at it, it doesn't show any affiliations,
Okay.
which is not unusual from what you've heard. So that they can have chapels in Galadriel. They just don't worship a particular god.
Yeah.
So it's not even Church of Rad.
Not even Church of Rad. From what you remember historically, the Church of Rad didn't exist at this stage.
It may be something that turns into the Church of Rad, we don't know.
Well, no, the fact that the Church of Rad existed was one of the things that we wanted to talk to and mention to
Redrin.
Vedran. Yeah.
Right.
But there's,
So if we sort
the
of,
church and the chapel was at the back of the house, but there was no actual entrance to the chapel from the back.
No, the chapel seems to only have entrances from the centre of the
In the house.
itself. I'll see if I can give you a view of it.
so if we send a message to Redrin now, actually he would still be tracking the mirror, so he wouldn't get it.
I was going to say yes, depending on when we are.
Yes.
He's
Well,
not that yet.
we're 50 years back, so yeah, he's well trapped in it.
Yeah, you can't see any entrances to the actual chapel itself.
Well, I figure that if we come back around to the front of the mansion there.
So just so you know, Jeremy.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
This is officially one of the adventures of the setting,
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
and it officially happened in the history of the setting. It didn't happen in the current timeline. There's no way it can happen in the current timeline.
Yeah.
So you've got to go back 50 years just to do it.
Very much so.
Well, because we've done it.
Yeah.
Because you've already done it, I'm sure.
No wonder Penelope feels old. He keeps getting trapped in time.
Hey, of your grandfather.
Yeah, so if there appears to be no particular discerning features from each of the three doors or the three wings, Penelope would be keen to go in the right-hand wing because hey, that's where we've come around to, and B, it avoids going through the front door.
Okay, so the
In the wood.
Okay, so as you start heading towards the door, you see that it seems to be made out of marble walls with woodland scenes, and you can see pictures of grandiose castles and temples.
Grandiose.
Grandiose, yes.
Sorry.
As I get time, my pronunciation gets worse. So, and big doors that stand about 10 feet high.
Okay.
And the room behind it seems to be about, each floor seems to be about 15 feet high.
Yeah.
Which for buildings is actually quite large. And, even
At
from
least
the
it's
door-
not made of metal.
Even from the door itself, you can see all around you the mists that surround the estate.
Right.
You have heard of various things that have been stuck in time mists that is in the past as well.
Yeah.
And it is very much a curse normally thrown at an evil creature to send it out of reality. Hence the relating to the rainbow curse.
let's face it, it's not quite the same situation as Kelvin.
Yeah.
We're pretty close.
Okay. And as you step in, what you're expecting to be actually 15 feet in this section, it soars up to 30 feet above you. So this was a lot larger than I expected. So we're going, can't be that big, can't be. Yes, it is that big.
I mean, it can't be that big. Most castles are quite reasonable size.
Yeah. But in just a entrance.
Although usually it's they're going for epic fantasy, so it's going to be pretty big stuff.
So it is, this floor is 30 foot high.
Yeah. Oh, for entrance, all that's reasonable. So
But it's not the main entrance. That's one of the side ones.
main entrance hall is prettier. Obvious.
Okay. So 6 3-foot-tall humanoids with pasty grey skin, large saucer eyes, pointed ears, seem to be running around the inside of the room with wide grins on their faces. They haven't seemed to oppose you so far. They're enjoying their own comforts. Good.
But it was just eyes.
They are grey-skinned creatures. They give me
Oh, grey-skinned creatures, sorry.
Yeah, give me a Arcana check to see if you recognise them.
Was that me, or was that something?
Anyone can do it.
Yeah, I'll check as well.
Well, I was going to say, I was assuming that it would be Lewell's bag.
It being a recognising and history thing.
Well, Arcana was your bag more than anyone else's.
Well, I sort of fake it, but yeah.
But actually, well, I mean, Kennedy got 16, but he's not trained in it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I got 18.
Okay, so you recognise them as a bunch of gremlins.
Right.
Creatures that cause misfortune.
Right. Gremlins, don't let them near your stuff.
No,
They cause bad luck.
They don't have to touch it. They can. They actually have an attack called misfortune.
Yes. But if you're far enough away, it won't affect you. Don't let them near you. Because if you're close enough to talk, you're in trouble. Don't be using the crossbow. Actually, there's a couple of interesting types of crossbow recently too.
And you do know that anyone who attacks a gremlin has a chance of striking themselves instead of the gremlin they're targeting.
Yes.
That's part of their misfortune.
Yes. So I tell the others, the gremlins, they mess your gear up and they can force you to hit yourself by using luck on you.
And is there, like how big this, are there exits in this room?
Yep. There are exits from this room.
Like in the sense I want to, okay,
They're small-sized creatures.
we could go through there, but is there a value of trying to actually get into the room, or is there,
So
just it's easy to look at a different doorway?
This is the main entry that you come in. That they're basically all in this room. You're looking in at just past the doors. Having no
I thought we were coming in like an entrance into the right wing.
That is the right wing.
Yeah, okay.
And-
So it's okay, like potentially we can go down,
And
we
you
can keep going around the outside to
The
the
main-
main door and or the left wing.
Yep. And there is a big set of doors behind them that you have to pass through their zone to get to them.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to be paying you any heed unless you actually open the door.
Does the mansion have windows?
He does. It has lots of windows. Let's see. So to give you some idea of what the map is like, you can sort of see how it just sprawls all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I've got of that little area there is, if I can get the reflection of it.
Yep.
So room 78.
Yep.
That's the room you're at.
That's where we're looking at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I
And-
say grand, I mean grand.
Yeah, okay, so pull back a bit so I can get see where the rest of the... Yep, okay.
That is the main entryway in comparison.
Yep,
And then all the way over here is the other entryway.
right. So,
So they only have 3 entrances to the outside, and if you look as you're looking past it, you see that the main entrance is leading to a garden.
okay, yep.
So while it may be the main entrance, it's still a garden area.
Yeah, okay, it's sort of not necessarily all an internal building, it's a multiple buildings leading into a garden in that sense, yep.
Yeah.
Well, my thought would be that potentially we want to go in either one of the wings, personally, whether it be through these gremlins or go across and have a look at the left wing.
Mm-hmm.
Because presumably gremlins are not something you have hanging around your house voluntarily.
I wouldn't know.
Generally not.
So, implying that the headmaster is not entirely in control of his mansion at this stage.
No. Well, the soon-to-be headmaster. He's not headmaster yet, apparently.
No, this is before he became headmaster. Or during his time of leave.
Yeah. Either way around, someone wanted him not to be the headmaster at the time.
So, so I'll say the fact that yes, presumably the idea at this stage is to try and reach the headmaster to determine A, what's happening, and B, deal with whatever is required. If we can reach the headmaster without running through gremlins or other creatures, then that's probably advantageous.
Yes.
Okay, so checking the other foyer. So this grand space features a wooden parquet floor of light browns and yellows covered by rose-coloured carpets. Tapestries depicting woodland scenes and grandiose castles and temples hang from the walls again. The ceiling soars 30 feet overhead, and the entire space is lit by polished brass standing candelabras filled with fresh candles. A pair of double doors stand closed at the north wall, while the south wall holds a pair of open doors. Beyond these later portals, a veil of grey mist is visible. So basically the doors that you're at are open. And
They're open, you said?
They're open, yeah.
Yep.
And you do have a feeling of strangeness as you go to step in.
No kidding.
Basically, it's a sort of strangeness that Predator identifies with wards against animals and nature.
Mm-hmm.
That they're holy temples.
But there's nothing apparently in this entranceway?
Nothing in the entranceway except for the door leading further in.
And is there a exit from this foyer area?
Yes, that's what I said. There's a door leading further in.
Yeah.
Oh, further in, sorry, yes. Sorry, it's just, there's a bit of background noise at that end, so...
Yes, computer fan and air conditioner. Yeah, it's cool enough.
Well,
Does that help?
That better?
yeah, that's better.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, part of it was the fan.
There's a lot of noise in it. Hum.
Well,
Also, doesn't help that I had the microphone in the wrong spot as well.
So he had a noisemaker, and he put your mic next to the noisemaker.
Yeah, apparently I was pointing Jeremy directly at the noise.
Yeah.
So there we go. That should help, Jeremy. Is everything clear
Like
enough?
it's somewhat clearer and easier. Yes, thank
Yes. So the mic is now pointing at people.
you. People rather than computer fans. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That's okay. It'll make it an interesting recording. It was like, oh yeah, I have a microphone.
Yeah, thing.
Okay, so yes.
Well, I say it makes some thematic background music. The constant gale blowing through the mist.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you see there is a corridor behind those doors. And there is one side door to it. You can continue on. The side door is partly ajar.
Well, I will move carefully down towards the side door at least, and then have a look in there. Is there any light or anything like that in this space?
There is light everywhere here. Or little.
Okay.
You have the creepy candlelight everywhere.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well lit creepy candles.
Well,
They don't seem to be burning out.
well, that's what continual light's for. Is creepy lighting castles.
They're not continual light. You can tell they actually put off heat.
Ooh.
But again, if we're talking about candles in a timeless environment, then they won't go down.
Strictly, they shouldn't be giving it any light either. But hey, time travel does weird stuff.
It does.
Well, giving out light at the moment, time stopped. And of course, so that light remains.
As long as you keep moving through it to hit photons to your eyes. Time travel does weird stuff. Let's ignore the weird things. Where our own weird things, we'll just stick with that.
I'm sure if you ignore time travel will ignore you back.
Pretty sure it doesn't work that way.
Well, that's just Drizzle logic.
And you just close your eyes, because if you can't see it can't see you.
Drizzle time.
It's yeah. Yes. What have you been doing? Drazzling. We've been doing what Drazzle does.
It's like bullet time at worst.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so do you look into the room, Jeremy, as you're sneaking?
I'm moving down that corridor to then peer into the door that's ajar.
Okay, so you're looking in there. You see a luxurious furnished room with plush chairs, polished wood table, ornate rugs, and other fine furniture. The furniture has all been pushed back against the walls, and the carpets have been rolled up. In the middle of the floor stands a canvas-covered platform rigged with ropes connected to posts at each of its corners.
Mm-hmm.
At one corner of the platform, a man stands still as a statue with his hands raised at shoulder height, his fingers clenched. He's wearing amber silk half trousers. His skin has an unnatural waxen quality. Seated near the strange figure is a man dressed in colourful silks, fancy lace, and rich velvets. He wears a large brimmed hat flaunting a peacock feather. A jewelled rapier is slung on his right side on a supple leather baldric. He has wavy black hair and a closely trimmed beard which comes to a point. Two men in plate armour and armed with halberds stand to either side of the man. Their flesh has the same unreal quality as the man on the platform. The seated man's flesh appears normal. There are chairs near the perimeter of the room, each facing the canvas-covered platform. Floating above the centre of each chair is a pair of red unblinking eyes that turn to watch all who enter.
Right. So the red unblinking eyes, are they attached to anything, or is it a guardian spell sort of object?
They just seem to be just floating above each of the chairs.
Right. So, do any of them take any notice of us entering?
Well, I'm
Yes.
empty and I was just looking through the door before you opened.
This was him
Yeah,
walking
there is
through
that.
the door.
Yeah.
So we've got a guy that's standing with his arms outstretched, hands in a fist, and two guards standing either side of him?
No, there's one standing like that in the on top of the canvas raised platform with the ropes around it, and there is the guy who's dressed like a fop with the jeweled rapier, with the two guards either side of him outside it.
So raised platform,
Yep.
canvas floor with ropes around.
Yep. So.
So we're talking a boxing ring.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And a boxer standing there ready with what appears to be a manager on the outside with the two guards.
Okay.
Right. Sounds like a job for a monk.
You can box, can't you?
Just give him some wrapping paper and some tape in his flame.
Yeah.
And let's face it, you could stamp all over that curtain on the floor.
Yes, that's it. I might end up attacking the ring itself instead of the actual other person.
Aunt Gremlin's fun.
Oh look, turns out the ring is a mimic. Oh.
That's a nice idea. Do you like this cube with a machete over the top?
No. The ring itself is a lurker. Each of the poles is a mimic. I admire not to see a guy sitting at a table with chandelier overhead, a candle on the table, some skulls on the floor. After the fight with the mimics, the only thing left was the table. Everything else was a mimic, or a mimic spawn. Including the light fitting, that was funny.
Okay, so what does people wish to do? Does anyone want to enter the room and confront the boxer?
Okay, so what else was around the room?
Okay, so
There was furniture pushed off the wall.
There's the guy who's looking. I'll quite happily go in and do sort of attention bait.
and there is one door on the other side, or you can continue down the hallway.
We could ignore them.
You can ignore them quite easily.
Well, except that they're potentially people we can talk to and find out what's going on.
That's true. Which is a reason to actually go in there. So if you get ready to engage the boxer in case he's told to attack us or something.
Well, presumably he won't do anything until someone enters the ring.
Presumably.
Okay, so you step in.
I will step in and go over and address the rich-looking guys.
Okay, so as you step in, all the eyes focus on you. As the guy by the ring calls you over and says, "Welcome, welcome. You come here to fight?
I come here to watch. I have someone to fight.
You have a challenger. Bring your challenger forward."
I guess I'll...
Is that your battle cry, challenger?
It has been on several occasions, so I'd say yes.
Sure.
We shall sing it in praise of you.
Okay.
Come on, Period, back him up.
Is there a reason that we should be here to fight?
I have set up this ring for entertainment of my family.
Your family are watching?
I will give you more information if you actually fight. I enjoy fighting.
And who are you?
I hope Period's got some buff spells, because I don't.
You can call me John Luis.
John Louise.
Have we got
Is
one of
that
the
a
other
name that
PCs
anyone
here who can
recognises?
do any buff spells?
In connection to the
No.
I don't
headmaster?
think so.
Probably not.
Most of his family is
No
not
wizard,
well
no
known.
cleric.
No, excellent again, it's not for that. The
The old...
So-
3 days.
Challenger, how much are you wagering on your ability to challenge? I shall match you. He looks you up and down. 4 times what you offer.
What's the minimum?
Well, the less you offer, the less I'll talk to you.
So this is
So,
a small bag of
Benedict's
cookies.
looking at the apparent boxer in the ring. What is he? How big is he? How tough does he look?
He doesn't look particularly tough. He looks fairly weedy.
That is going to be entirely a fake out.
He doesn't look human though.
What does he
Uh-huh.
look like?
Give me an Arcana roll.
$16 on the dice.
Okay, looking at it, you recognize it as a Magian, a construct.
Okay. It's a construct, it's not a living being. It's probably a lot tougher than it looks. Or a lot faster than it looks.
Magian are considered living constructs.
Oh. Okay.
Well,
Right, it's a living My brain
So it's a
hurts.
golem.
It's a living construct. Oh, actually golems are just constructs. Even flesh golems. This is beyond that.
Yeah, no, okay, but I'm talking Benedict make the statement as well.
Oh yeah, no,
Golem.
okay. Yes, and that's the thing I'm correcting you. So this
Yeah.
is beyond a golem. This is a think of a thinking golem, one actually has volition.
But not quite the equivalent of living person, because it still doesn't need to eat or sleep.
Yes. Well, it's at that point it's conceptually similar to an undead, but it's a construct instead. It has volition, and that's the important thing.
Benedict will talk to, will address the Margan and say, "Do you have a name?"
He doesn't respond to you. John Lewis just smiles and says, "He only talks to me."
Fair enough. Good security.
So what's going on in this house?
You haven't fought yet, and they'll not talk until you fight. How much are you willing to put towards your answers?
I have
there anyone else
interest
here?
to fight, but I don't have much coin.
Clink.
How much do you put down?
100 gold.
I was going to put down 20. Okay.
No. Remember, we've got our expense accounts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We've all right for sort of 5 to 7 level characters. We're actually rolling in money.
Okay.
We can't buy everything we want, but we're effectively being paid 1,000 gold a month to do this for what's his face.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says if the challenger lasts 1 round, then he will reward the party with an additional gold above and beyond any side bets, and answer 1 question they pose.
Cool.
If they last 2 rounds, he'll give you an additional 10 gold and answer 2 questions. 3 rounds, 100 gold and 3 questions.
Right. So time to dodge like fuck.
If you survive 4 rounds, he will offer 1,000 gold and answer 4 questions.
How well can you dodge for 4
If you
rounds?
can last 5 rounds, he will answer you. He'll reward you with 5,000 gold and answer 5 questions. If you win, he'll give you 10,000 gold and answer any question you might pose to him.
Okay.
So, are you up to this? Question: is healing allowed during the bout?
This is no.
Well,
But you can, anytime during the match, throw in the towel and in the bout.
so neither of us can help you through this. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I mean, I can probably give him a blessing before he starts.
Well, we can start him up with things, but I don't have any buff spells.
Whatever you give
So-
him will also be given to his opponent.
So it's purely on skill. That's
Yes.
fine.
You're that good. You're that good.
Today I am.
Good.
Now looking up creature.
Well, so I say, whilst Title's getting himself vaguely together, Benedict's going to go and have a look around at the what's in the room and look through the doorway and stuff like that.
Okay. To the.
Yes. There could have been the Munchkin out, by the way.
So you see a study to the east of the boxing ring.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a bunch of Rakasta there.
Rakshasa?
Rakasta.
Rakasta, which is
Which is what the Tabaxi were based on. But
right.
the Tabaxi in this world, if you bring Tabaxi in, are the idiotic descendants of the Rakasta who were cast out of their society and hunted down and killed.
Right.
Because they are that stupid in comparison to real Rakasta.
Oh dear, it's bloody nose. Okay.
So,
The Rakasta are actually spacefaring.
and nasty bastards.
Yes. They're not extraplanar,
No.
but they're spacefaring.
Right.
So when you actually say, I'm a little cute kitty cat, these guys hate those people. And they have a lion-esque appearance, Jeremy.
Okay.
A lion. They have a very much like a cat, humanoid lion.
Yeah, they're lion folk. They're lion folk from the clans.
Yes, they are very much. Unlike the lion folk, you remember these guys have height on them by at least 1 to 2 feet, and bulk.
Mm-hmm.
They are true representations of lion folk.
Right.
And the key here was I had to last a certain number of rounds.
Or
Yeah.
Well, or we.
Or win.
Yeah. Well, actually, the thing is, if you win, that gives us a big prize.
Yes. But we're not here for money, we're here for questions.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you win, he'll answer any question we have.
And he'll also match your winnings 4 times what you put in.
Right. Okay.
And he says how much, and you put in 200 or 100.
100 we put in.
Yeah.
100. So he'll pay you an extra 400 gold if you win.
Alright.
Yeah. So part of the problem is this guy being a construct, he's probably going to be impossible to tire.
Yes.
So
I
you're
noticed
going
that.
to actually have to hit him.
That's why I'm not going to use things like Slaying Strike.
Hmm.
Because he's probably got a hell of a lot of constitution.
Or is actually immune to the special effect of things like Slaying Strike, because they would require organs.
Yep. But I'm hoping that because of my key empowered strikes.
Yep, that should do the job. Plus key empowered dodges.
Okay, so he gestures you to some seats that have been brought over by the ring for the trainer and his guard.
Mm-hmm.
They're referring to the well as your trainer. When they give him the tail to toss in, that will end the belt when that's tossed in.
That's fine.
Okay, and John Luis asks you, "Are you ready to participate?"
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, step into the ring.
Alright. I'll
Preferred no weapons.
Yep. Oh, no weapons, even though my monk weapon counts. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yep.
It is a test of skill, not a test of weaponry.
Yep, that's
Okay,
fine.
it's pugilism. You've got to use your hands.
Yep.
Not necessarily fist, I wouldn't say, but it's got to be your hands. They might
Yes.
expect it to be fist.
The monk school of backslappery, yeah.
Okay, so
And depending upon whether they which particular role of boxing they've gone through, you might be able to get a few kicks in. I haven't told you otherwise.
Yep.
give me a perception roll initiative roll to see where you go in initiative.
Okay. It wasn't very good. Could be worse though. That's a 11.
11.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, you get to go first.
Oh, okay.
So he starts a move, indicating he's also ready. as you step into the ring, and you get to what you want to do. Round 1.
Well, if I have to try and defeat this guy, I guess I'll try and strike him.
Okay.
I just have to check something first. Okay, cool. So I attack twice, so I have level 5, and where's the thing that I...
There, next to the other thing.
Everything together makes a nice thing.
Ah, but we want an effective thing for whacking the thing.
Oh, you can make that a bonus. Okay, cool, yep, gotcha. Okay, so, I guess I'll test the waters and use a... going for a attack.
Yep. You close in.
Yep.
You get to go first.
Alright. It's my unarmed, so...
Right, so no initiative, it's waiting for you.
He actually beat it on initiative, otherwise it was going to close in on him. I rolled a 4 on its initiative.
Oh dear, that's not very good. How many rerolls do we have there?
You have 9.
9?
Mm-hmm.
I might reroll that one if that's okay.
It's up to you.
Oh,
They're to be used. You have now
Yeah.
advantage on the roll, so you can roll again.
oh come on, it's
Roll
worse.
lower. Well, you got the
Yeah.
higher of the 2. What was the higher of the 2?
So it's 11.
You missed. He just seems to just dodge slightly out of the way.
Alright, so second attack, because I'm over 5th level. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Welcome to 2021.
Yeah, I
And
know,
the
right?
dice are trying to kill you.
Yep, they are.
So how'd you go?
Lower, so
Not a natural 1 though.
no.
Okay, so you swing and you miss, and it seems to smile.
Then as my bonus action, I'm using a key to activate patient defense, which means I can take the dodge action as a bonus.
Okay. What does the dodge action give you?
It gives it disadvantage to attack me, I believe.
Okay. 2 dice roll. Okay, the lowest it rolled was a 12, so it hit armor class 17.
Oof, I have 15.
Okay, so it hits you for how much? Don't want to go in the flesh. It hits you for 5. Yeah, 5 damage.
5 damage, okay.
And then it swings at you again. It has 2 attacks.
Yep, that's fair.
So the lowest it got was an 18 on the second swing,
Yep, that hits me.
and it does 4 damage with that one.
Did it have disadvantage?
It did have disadvantage.
Okay. So another 4 damage?
Yep.
Okay, let's be down.
As it hits you twice. You have survived the first round.
Yep.
Let me just check to make sure I'm doing that correctly. So, how many attacks?
So I'm surprised that
Okay.
rounds are only combat rounds and not.
5 combat rounds actually. He got to last 5 combat rounds to survive the boxing round.
That's what I was thinking. I
Okay,
so
so-
boxing round would be a minute or 2 minutes or something.
Next part of the boxing round. You've done 1.
Okay. Well then I'll go again for the punch him at punch. That's better. Let's say 16.
You hit.
I need to check my... Okay, so it's still 1d6. Yep. Okay. So that's 4 damage.
You hit him for 4.
And then the next attack. Oh, Oh, can I make a re-roll for that, please?
You can if you like.
That's a natural one. I don't want that. I really don't want that.
You've now got 7 rerolls left.
That's fine.
So you've now
How do you turn these lights
the flashy lights.
on? Just just kitchen lights.
Kitchen light on the wall.
Oh, you don't speak to it.
Yeah, that one you got to turn on.
Not
the wall.
yet.
Other side.
This side?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
What'd you get?
Natural 20.
Oh, nice.
From a 1 to a 20.
Yep.
Yep, smack it right in the forehead.
Good use of a reroll.
Yep.
It is.
Now that does double damage, right? It doesn't upgrade it.
It just does double damage, yes.
Yeah. Oh, what's this I'm thinking of?
So you roll your damage and then double the result.
Probably crit special effects from magic weapon,
Maybe.
if you have any.
I'm thinking of Pathfinder too, that's right. So, 3 times 2 is 6.
So you do 6?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll be
Or-
using another key as my dodge thingy.
Or 4, where you get extra dice from the plus on the magic weapon.
Do you have any reader? Oh, hang on, I have an reader.
So his lowest roll there was a 12.
Oh, thank God. So that misses.
Okay, his other roll was a 17.
That hits, I'm afraid.
No, he had, but that was with disadvantage. So I got to roll.
It's hard to get to command so it takes a long roll.
The 12 was the...
Okay, so this time he got a 7 as he swings in.
That misses, I believe. They
Yep.
both miss.
So now we're up to the third part of the first round.
Oh, this is still the first round, is it?
Yeah. So technically the first round, you got to get through 5 combat
Yeah,
rounds.
right.
Okay.
You might run out of key before the end.
Well, that's the thing.
But hey, if you take him down before you run out of key, you'll be all good.
Well, I reckon if it's 3 rounds, then I've got to last how many rounds?
5.
All up,
6.
25.
Well,
25.
Actually, either not
5
that
lots
or
of 5.
25 combat
5
rounds.
lots of 5, right?
Okay. Okay, yep, I don't really see any other way of doing that, so it's fine. I just won't use it as often. Okay, and I guess I'll keep going and try and punch him. And this time I won't use my dodge thing. That's not going to do very well. So that's a 9. Probably misses him, I imagine.
9 is a miss.
The next one. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's a natural 1, so I'll change that to thingy.
You're gonna roll another thing.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing used up.
Should've
Down
brought
to
my
6.
dice tray. Oh, it's much better. That's a non-natural 20.
1 natural 20, that's a hit.
Alright.
Hmm.
That's only 2 damage, I'm afraid.
Right, so Peridea, you and I are cheering, right?
Okay.
Well, Kennedy is more wondering exactly why we're really doing this.
To get information.
Okay, so the
Yes.
did you use any key?
I didn't this time.
Okay. He gets a 15.
That's just what he needed.
And he does 6 damage to you.
Oof, okay. Alright.
And he swings again. This time he only gets a 9.
Then he misses.
Okay. You have survived 3 of the first round.
3. Wow, 1 question per round. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Better make it a good question, guys. It's not gonna last
Well, you're
very
paying
long.
for it with blood.
Yep. That's a 22
That's a hit.
to 26. That's a 6.
Okay.
The next one
It's a fairly even fight.
is a 15.
Hmm.
That is a hit as well.
Alright. That's 4 damage.
Okay.
And oh, should I use it? No, I won't use it.
He swings at you, hitting a 18, doing 5 damage.
Okay, yep.
Then he misses you.
Ooh.
You have survived. I got one more until the end of this round.
Yep.
And
Alright.
you'll have finished the first round.
I'll keep going then. That's a 12.
You miss.
That's a miss. Oh, that's even worse. That's a 6.
And you miss again.
I'm going to use a dodge this time. So I'm going to use a key.
Okay, so he's now got disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay, first attack is a 7. And second attack is an 11. So he misses twice that time and you finish the first round.
Cool.
The bell dings. You don't even see the bell, but the bell dings.
Yep.
So we can splash water in his face and stuff like that, counting down in between rounds.
You can, you get a minute to give him any sort of pepper.
Pepper. I doubt you're allowed to use heals in between, so you're probably accused of cheating. So
Well, I asked about during the bouts. He said no.
Well, it said
what
whatever
about
was used.
between the
It
bouts?
said whatever was used on one would be used on the other.
right, so if you heal between the bouts, you heal the other
Yeah.
guys. So
Yeah, it'd be so much better if it was double.
yeah.
Then we'd beat you half to death.
You're not wrong. I still don't like it.
So what you're saying is that we should heal him up.
No.
Why not?
Because for
Because-
each hit point we heal him, we heal his opponent.
Yeah, and are you expected to knock him down in the 5 rounds?
You may.
I don't know.
What's the thing? If we want unlimited questions and answers, then he needs to actually win.
Yeah, well,
So the object there is yes.
Benedict's asking, do you feel like you're winning at the moment? You're going to win.
I mean, I'm getting some hits
Because
in, but
if we heal you, like if you don't think you can win, but we keep you upright, that's more rounds you ask for.
I don't know how well I'm doing against this guy.
So give it another 2 rounds and we'll see.
Okay, and during that you see a couple of hobgoblins coming carrying trays of water for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not going to complain about that.
And they are all, one of them is cleaning any of the blood you spilt onto the canvas.
Does someone want to purify that stuff?
I can only do it ritually.
Oh, really? Okay. Fuck.
Yes.
Oh, if we don't trust their water,
I could-
we can always
I could-
do our water.
Yes, I could clean it, but if it's been poisoned, my cleaning won't fix that.
Yeah, but the amount of times that this is the circumstance where you'd want to poison someone.
Yeah.
I'm sure that anything they do to you, they'd also do to him.
What, poison him? Yeah, but he has a higher constitution, probably.
He doesn't seem to be drinking.
So he'd be fine.
He's a construct. He doesn't need to eat or drink.
Ugh.
He doesn't need it. You, on the other hand, could thank them for a cup of water, and then drink from your own water bottle.
Yeah, I suppose I could drink my own water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we're talking about safety.
yeah, I'll just do that.
So I'll hold it out for you, because presumably you're not.
Okay, so how
Wearing it
many hit
while
points did
fighting.
you lose?
I'm currently on. I just realised I didn't update this sheet, so I'm level 6.
Oh no.
That's fine.
So you get a definite amount for an extended amount.
I'm currently
so
30 out of 49.
Okay, so that means you lost 19.
Yes, yes.
So the odd few.
Okay, so
Better not get hit too much.
you're listed as the winner of round 1.
Did I?
Brilliant.
so you did more damage to him than he did to you.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily
So-
mean you're winning.
But it does
Because
give us.
depends on how many hit points he starts with.
But it does give us one question and answer.
Yeah.
It's
We've
not
got that-
necessarily
we've got
a
that
case
much.
of percentage hit points.
But he
No.
It
needs
might
to
just be damage.
Yeah.
you stay after the bouts or during?
After.
After.
Yeah,
Like,
so
once it's all over,
when
we
the
then get
fight's
question and answer time.
When the fight's concluded,
Alright.
And then after about a minute, the bells ring again, and everyone moves out of the way for you.
Sure.
So you get to do initiative again to see who gets to go first.
Yep.
while the bout's going on,
19.
Yep.
Benedict will test the water that they provided.
It is very clear water. It's very nice tasting.
Okay, yep. I'll enjoy it.
Okay, so it wades in on you before you're ready.
Wow. Okay. It's like higher than 19. That's insane.
So it hits an armor
Yeah.
class of 21,
How?
Yep, that hits.
doing 4 points of damage.
Okay, 4 points. Alright,
Then it wings at you again, hitting armor class 14,
that misses.
and just grazes you.
Okay.
And then you're up.
Alright, let's try and hit back.
Smacky wacky?
That's a 7. No, that's a 9. 10.
Okay, he just steps to the side of your swing.
Yep, that's fair. That's a 22.
And he walks right into that one.
Yep, so that's 2 damage.
Okay.
Now I will. Hang on a second. Because I'm a monk, I believe I can use a bonus action after attacking with a main.
Yeah, that's
As
for
an
your
attack.
flurry. Flurry, well, what used to be flurry anyway, I don't know what it is now.
No, that's a key. Flurry is a key, whereas just as a standard, when you make the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action. It's like use my
But
bonus for
he
unarmed.
has to use his bonus up for that, which means he doesn't get to use his bonus for his other things. But there's still a bonus.
There's
Yeah.
still a hit you don't get
Uh,
otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not going to dodge this round, so I'll
Yeah.
just try and attack him with an armed strike.
You whack them and headbutt them.
Yep. Which is a 13.
Okay, you hit
Oh,
just. That is the target.
there we go. It's the magic number, and that's a 6.
Okay. Then we're up to part 2 of that round. Just making sure I keep that number there. And he wades in on you again, hitting a 12,
That's a miss.
and then hitting a 24,
That's a fucking hit.
doing 6 damage.
Oof. This guy likes round numbers, that's for sure.
Well, it's D3 plus 3.
Yeah, but he's managed to get me down to like 40 and then whatever, and then 30 and then whatever, and then 20, and you know. He's like,
Yeah.
Well, currently he's ahead on points. You're up.
he's ahead, is he? Okay.
Well, he's done more damage. Whether he's done more percentage damage, we don't know.
That's a 19.
Does he hit?
That's 4 damage.
Yeah, you're ahead on points.
That's a 17.
That's a hit as well.
That's 4 damage. Now I'll do another bonus to strike him. Or I'll roll off the table. That's a 13.
I'm going to look
Okay,
around and
so-
see if there's anything I can
That's
see.
a 6.
A lot of red eyes staring at interest in it. They all seem to be some sort of. They all look like a magical construct.
So, I'm presuming used for remote viewing.
I
Something like
believe
that.
so. So 6 was the last
6,
one.
yeah.
Hmm.
6 damage.
Okay.
Something that could be useful.
So you've now survived 3 parts of the second round. I don't believe this will go to 5 rounds. Okay, he gets a 21,
That hits me.
doing 4 damage.
It's not too bad. Alright.
Then he gets a natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Doing
Whack tons.
12 damage.
Oh!
Yeah, whack tons. How many hit points did you start with? 48? 49?
49.
Now give me a fortitude save.
How did you end up with less hit points than
Or constitution
I do?
saving throw.
Unless you haven't updated your hit points yet.
Yes, adding his other hit
I
points.
haven't updated my other hit points yet.
Right, which means you've actually got like 9 hit points more than you've got listed.
Technically, yes. I think I'm on 6 health left? Is that right? I don't know. I lost track of the numbers.
Constitution saving throw first.
That's a. Can I re-roll?
You can re-roll that one. Down to 5 re-rolls.
You need new dice.
They are new dice.
That's a 13.
You need old dice.
No, 12.
12. Okay. You basically see the fist coming. You go to dodge, but you seem to dodge too late as everything just goes black.
Oh, fuck.
And at this stage, you see Tidal has been knocked clean out.
Was it a good blow?
It was a good blow. It was a critical hit. Okay, so he thanks you for your 100 gold.
Penadier will move forward and drag, reach into the ring and drag Tidal over and make certain he's not actually dying or anything like that.
He takes your 100 gold and gives you the gold in return for winning the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "And what is your one question?"
Because I got knocked. You got a critical hit on me and got knocked out.
I will have to confer with the other two before I...
That is fine. I will be here when you're ready.
Okay.
You can even come back and ask it later. Yep. Or fight again if you wish to challenge.
Peridot, what do you think about fighting?
So Tidal,
When,
he's unconscious at the moment.
He wakes up within a minute.
Effectively down to 0 hit points. Or
no, I got knocked out at 6.
He was actually knocked out with a special effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I make sure it didn't take you down to effective 0.
No.
So,
No.
Like, if I can
he's
somehow
knocked out
heal up again.
Effectively gets a 10 count and
Yeah, but you'd have to do it without any effect from us. You don't have a healing potion on you or anything?
No, but...
What are you worried about?
Well, he said he wants to continue the bout, but that he hasn't specified if that means his golem heals or not.
If you wish to challenge again. You can come back if you wish to challenge again.
Yes, we can walk away and come back later if we feel like it.
And get a new challenge with new possible questions. So we could go with the one question we have now, proceed further into the castle and come back.
We're assuming we'll be able to get back here later.
Well, yes.
It's a big assumption.
It is a big assumption. However, if we can, then he's here.
Or we can explore further, and when we get problem, we can come back and ask the question and then decide.
Well, that's the question at this point. Do we ask our one question now and use it to aid further exploration?
I'm good, thank you.
Yep. I'm just going to go to the bathroom while you guys debate.
Yep. So,
what would be your question now?
well, that's the other thing. If we
Like,
ask, do we know enough about this place to actually ask a question?
Right, so the question would be, so what is this place?
That seems like a really crap question.
It's a bad
Well,
question
exactly,
because
exactly.
the answer could happily be our castle, which is exactly true and totally useless.
Yeah, but
So
that
we
we
need
don't
a useful
know enough
question.
to ask an effective question yet.
Right. So our best bet then is to reserve the question and come back when we have more useful info.
I would think so.
Yep. So let's do that then.
So is he going to allow us to reserve the question?
He has already said so.
Happy for us to walk away and come back later.
Yeah, he's
But
fine.
if we manage to heal up and come back later, I can do it again. But I don't know if that means he'll entitle us to more questions or not.
Well, from the way he's wording it, then yes.
Yeah,
Every bout you win, we get a question.
Except the benefit in that they're happy for the fight to occur because it provides entertainment.
Yes.
It doesn't
So
actually
it's-
cost them anything.
Yeah, it's all the fun. So I will just heal you up now.
But if you heal us up in here, isn't that going to heal the thing?
We're going to finish with this bout.
Okay.
We're done.
Yeah.
You can't go any further. There's no point
Yeah.
holding off.
Yeah.
So when we come back, it's entirely as if it's fresh,
Okay.
which is fine because it's bout per question.
Irrespective of what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new bout.
So-
you fight.
Yeah. So you get healed. You're done.
Okay. Right.
And I get. We'll take a 5-minute rest because I get my spells back then.
Yeah.
And they also say that they only expect fully healed combatants to enter the ring.
Yep. So if you want to read your
Impaired
bout,
combatants don't participate.
Yeah. Which means that
because
next
they're no
time,
fun. Yeah.
next time you face him, he'll also be back at full.
Well, of course.
Where's
But at
the
least if
gentleman?
I rest for 30 minutes, I get my key back.
Yes.
Well, and hey, the water's beautiful.
Yeah.
The
Well,
water
that's-
has
that's-
absolutely no taste to it, and you can tell it is the equivalent of create water.
Cool. The water's tasteless, which means it tastes like sweet water. Because most contaminants of water that's still drinkable actually make it slightly bitter or sour. So tasteless water is sweet water.
Alright, well, I guess once we've had our little resty thing,
Mm-hmm.
head off.
So, yes. When I poked my head in the door with the cat folk, they were just looking at me but didn't really bother me, like they weren't concerned either way.
They're basically taking over the room,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't be able to move past the room to get through them. There are 12 of them all up.
Yeah, I don't know, it was more
So,
the idea
yeah.
when I opened it or as I was looking in the room,
And they're
did they
basically,
pay much attention to me?
they did see you and seem to dismiss you.
One of you and 12 of them, I'm not surprised.
And
No, it was more the idea whether they might be interested in talking.
There, there's that. Well, address one.
I wasn't planning on fighting them.
you do hear some strange language from them, which you'd never heard before.
Go on, Brady, go scratch them behind the ears.
Yeah. Everyone can speak cat if they know how to do it right. Isn't that right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Period turns up missing one leg and half an arm.
And a bag for the catnip.
I will call from the door, greetings.
Okay, they look in your direction. All of them stop what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, right.
And one of them walks over to you. He's about 7 to 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Though you probably think about a foot of that is hair.
Yep. That's right.
He's got about a foot of mane around his whole head.
So if these guys went for a walk, would it be a pride march? Sorry.
It would. And he says in a very old version of your language, what is a tribesman doing here?
I'm not entirely certain. So, we're here to apparently right a wrong,
To break a curse.
or at least right an incident.
Well, to break a curse, specifically.
I am Pettidian of the clan, originally of the Deer clan. So,
I am Fahir of the Lion Clan. He says, you have no memory of a Lion Clan.
so, the let's say your folk are from the plateau.
No, we have family at the plateau, though. Those who wish to return to nature.
Yes, well, so I have certainly met those who at least may have some relation to yourself. So, yeah. But how is it that you end up in this building? Where is this building?
That we do not know. We remember stepping out of the mist. We remember parts of our lives beforehand. And we also remember how Richard is a fantastic master.
Richard?
Richard Amber, we all serve Richard Amber. Don't you serve Richard Amber? Everyone should serve Richard Amber.
Remember, this is Amber Castle.
Oh, we don't know that yet, though.
Well, no, that's actually that's true. Thursday. All right.
Sorry, the coffee is going quite very good to hear what's happening. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Richard Amber. Is he lord of this building?
He is Lord of Castle Amber, from which you currently reside.
Oh.
Castle Amber.
Well,
Castle Amber is the world. There is nothing outside of Castle Amber.
Ah.
It did seem that the grounds were relatively small for the size of the building, and yes, it did not appear to be much beyond. However, as you state, we have come from beyond Castle Amber, just as yourselves.
Excuse me.
Then you've come to serve?
As I said, we've come to right a wrong, or at least right an incident.
I'm sure you'll serve.
Where can we find this Richard Amber?
You will find him in his bedroom at this time. He seems to prefer it. He must rest his royal head.
I guess ruling such a dominion is tiring.
Well, he is master of all we foresee and survey.
All we foresee.
Does the gentleman here, what was it, Jean-Louis or something, serve Richard Amber?
Everyone serves Richard Amber, he says.
Do you know of other people in the building?
There are many in the building. We all serve Richard Amber.
And how long have you been here?
He blinks. Since morning.
Did you serve Richard Amber before you came?
It's been morning a long time.
Yes. So, but before you arrived here, did you serve Richard Amber?
That was a long time ago.
Yes. Who did you serve before him then?
I do not remember much of my time before then.
And is it similar for your friends?
The longer we reside in this morning, the less we remember.
Have you free reign of this building? Or do you remain here in this location?
He thinks that we are looking for something.
Perhaps we can help.
We have it covered. There are many of us here.
Elsewhere throughout the house?
I'm sure there are others in the house, he says, thinking, looking a bit confused.
What do you think you were looking for? Maybe we'll come across it and I'll be able to collect it for you.
I believe it is in the books. We are currently searching the books for what we've been asked to find. If only I can remember what it was he had asked me to, he says, with that strange look in his eyes.
So the other cat folk in the room, are they looking at books or are they just lazing around doing nothing?
They are currently going through books.
They are going through books, okay. Okay. Well, do you mind if I have a look in the books as well? Maybe I will find what you're looking for.
He sort of looks a bit confused at the question. He says, has Richard directed you to look at the books?
He hasn't said not
No, we have not met Richard.
You should meet Richard first, because he's the Lord and Master, and these are his books.
I say, we'll be looking for the books to help you find what you're looking for.
Ask how to get to Richard.
He said he's back in his bedroom.
Ask where it is. I'm
Shall
presuming
I
up
escort
in the
you
middle.
to our Lord and Master?
That would be brilliant.
It seems the fastest way.
If that will allow me to get back to my search, I will take you to him now. Are you a researcher?
I have spent some time studying the law.
Then I will tell him you will be good at research. Come, he says, and just starts walking out the other side of the room.
Okay, so going through we're not going back to the boxing ring, we're going through the other door.
He's going through the other door. He actually goes north into a corridor,
Mm-hmm.
which is away from the others.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually get into his room.
Well, if you're having trouble, obviously if you're having a guide, it's going to be easy way back for you then.
Yeah.
From above.
Okay. So amusingly, just so you know, as a player, the room that has the person you're supposed to speak to is only one door, which is a secret door.
Probably you get a guide then.
Accessible through rooms that don't talk about how to get into it.
Right.
But hey,
Well, better is taking careful note of all the twists and turns that we take on the way there.
so basically, you walk across a corridor of mirrors and find yourself in. So I'll read the corridor of mirrors.
Has someone published Errata for that particular?
This is a
Adventure.
this is a rewrite of the adventure.
Right.
So I would have thought they would have fixed things like that.
So they've pre-screwed it up.
This was an original
Or-
80s adventure that was
Yeah.
redone.
Or they made it very true to the original. No corrections or modifications.
Oh no, that they did clean it up, but they didn't clean it up well enough. In the center of the hall that you pass through is a 10-foot wide red carpet stretching from doors east to west, and you're crossing south to north. The ceiling arcs 40 feet overhead, and near the east end of the hall, a raised catwalk stretches across the hallway. At either end, the overpass are double doors, and there are sets of stairs connecting to a balcony running around there is a balcony basically overhanging the corridor that you can see. And where the red carpet isn't, it's a polished white marble to almost a mirror-like polish. And as you step in there, all the doors around you slam shut. And the lights go out.
Good.
You feel some claws in your shoulder as someone just keeps dragging you forward. Unless you can see in the dark.
Like me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll lead.
Were you still in the boxing room?
I'm assuming
I'm
our
still
friend,
there.
our friend is leading at the present time.
Yes.
Okay, so were you resting up with the help of your wall up so you can go again?
Are you going to go again or go and join
Oh,
me?
we'll go
I'm
together.
happy to go again later if need be, but I thought we were doing this other thing.
We'll go and do this. So we'll go and
Okay,
join
so
him.
you've been dragged in with the others.
Okay.
So all three of you are in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Your dark vision doesn't seem to work,
Mm.
which means magical darkness.
Yeah, it's either magical darkness or total darkness because I'm not a dwarf.
Low light vision does help.
Yes.
Okay, and apparently you all feel claws in your shoulder dragging you forward.
Right. So we're being
lovely.
pulled around by cats.
I will attempt to cast light as a cantrip.
Okay, you tried to do the cantrip, except your tongue seems to stumble around the words.
Okay. Magic is missed.
Okay.
Okay, and then as you reach the center of the room, all the candles around the room light up.
Cool.
So everyone must make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, wisdom, hey?
Mm-hmm.
I think they got knocked out of me during the fight. Oh, not too bad actually. That's a 16.
18 for Petty.
I can see 10 from here.
Would
you got 9.
Would you like a reroll?
A reroll would actually be really good if we.
So we've got
Actually,
four
I-
left, I think.
Well, yes.
That's the better of the two.
Rather better. 13.
Okay. Target number for you was 12, or you're blinded for 2 hours.
Oh,
So yes, everything would have been blackened for you.
yeah. Ouch.
Okay.
Light candles.
And you're dragged across to a large door, which is then pushed through. And that gets me over. I have a fold-out map, and it goes over the fold-out map.
Ah.
The room is a large, ornate bedroom, one decorated with pastel lavender and creamy white colours. A dressing table laden with cosmetics, combs, pins, brushes stand against the wall beside a tall standing mirror. A dainty chair with a pink satin pillow rests before the table. The fireplace is set into the north wall, but no fire burns within it. There is a large four-poster bed in the middle of the room with its lavender curtains drawn.
Okay.
And you can see there's a lump under the covers as the cat starts heading towards the west wall.
The west wall.
Mm-hmm. He's going west.
Right.
So he's not actually attempting to wake Richard.
He's not attempting to wake the person in the bed at all.
Okay. Well, I'll call to him and say, is this Richard Amber that we're supposed to talk to?
He looks at you and says, "Did I say it was Richard Amber?"
I mean, you said you were taking us to see Richard Amber.
Yes. Are you still following?
I will
yes.
come forward, yep.
He turns away from you again and then knocks on the wall. Okay.
And while he's waiting for the knock on the wall to be responded to, I say, so who's that in the bed?
He says, "Not Richard."
Not Richard, his brother.
Valid, true, bloody useful. Right. It's bloody useless.
Okay. So.
Strange house that we have to go through someone else's bedroom to get to his bedroom.
So the wall slides open, and you see a 8-foot tall creature of the shape of a human and the head of a lion. He's got gold plate armor, and holding a great sword in both hands, with a
Big
jeweled
impressive
crown on
stuff.
top of his head.
Do not say King Puss.
And he looks at you and says, "Who disturbs the rest of Richard Card de Lion de Amberville?"
Go,
Greetings, sir.
I choose you.
Your friend here.
He looks at you and says, "Do you not know the proper form of address?" He says, raising his sword.
Apparently not. I meant no offence.
So into the title here.
"I wear a crown, do I not?" he says, in a angry tone.
Your Majesty.
"I see you have at least someone with a civil tongue amongst you," he says, with more anger coming through his voice.
I'm happy to step back and allow Lowell to step forward.
The royal gets to now make a
Hey, please don't kill me, roll.
social roll. What social roll would you like to make?
Socially acceptable.
Diplomacy. Is it? Oh, no.
Well, diplomacy be the basic, because anything else involves.
But you don't have diplomacy.
Yes, I do.
No, it's not a skill. What they call it in 5th ed.
It's persuasion.
Oh, persuasion. Okay, yeah.
So persuasion, deception.
Well, that's the thing. At the moment,
work.
I don't want to do deception
that's
because he might be able to pick that up.
As does intimidation also work. So both the three of those all count as a social
Right.
roll.
Or
So
possibly performance.
he's like what, 6.5 feet tall
8
with
feet tall.
8 feet tall. Okay, cool. With a crown on.
Not
He's
counting
part-
his main.
and the crown.
Let's
He's
face
got
it.
claws.
Let's face it. Out of character. It's King Richard the Lionhead.
Of course it is. However, I'm tall, but I'm not going to try and intimidate this guy
I wouldn't recommend it.
unless I've got something like Mongo behind me as a weapon. Yes. Mongo is actually a very useful weapon. And quite philosophical for being like int 6.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the persuasion is it.
Persuasion it is. Persuade away.
D. I do not get any bonuses or anything of the kind. Ooh. 14, which is not a bad start, but it could be better.
Okay. Are you happy with 14?
No,
Do you want to use one of the rerolls?
probably. I also want to see if there's anything in diplomatologist that's actually useful. Although I don't.
Have you
think I
activated your cape?
I don't. Well, the cape's automatic.
Then you
I
have
get-
advantage.
I-
So a reroll doesn't help.
Yes, I will use my
You can do it.
advantagely thing. That's rather better.
It is a lot better.
Yes.
So your
Total is 21.
cape flaps dramatically,
From my hair, whooshes with it.
and you have that windswept look of someone who's been out on the plains.
Yes, it looks like the sort of plains that lions are on. It's Serengeti style wind.
He sort of has that wistful look on his face as the air waves past him of that smell of the plains. Yes, you are a noble person. What is it? Next time, don't let your servants talk for you. What fellow noble do you wish? You come to serve?
Sorry, what was his name again?
His name was
King Richard.
Richard Card de Lion de Amberville.
So, thinking.
Or commonly Richard Amber the Lion-Headed.
Right. The headmaster were here to help actually be a headmaster isn't Richard, though, is he? It's somebody entirely else.
Etienne d'Amberville, or otherwise known as Simon d'Amberville, as the common name.
Right.
They gave each of them common names, which is one of the changes they made to the adventure.
Yep. Yes. Rather than let's go with all the French stuff, which is in the original.
Mm-hmm. But the French names are the ones that are in all the other books.
Yeah. On the other hand, both Richard and Simon, with slightly different pronunciations, are French. Because they're from the Norse. Or the Normans. So at least they get that much.
So they actually used Stefan instead of Simon.
Okay.
It's a bit hard to keep track of all the name changes.
Yeah. But just so you can have it on your book.
Thank you.
Yeah. Problem is, we get to this point, I blank on what to actually ask for.
We're trying to find out why we're here, where he
Yes.
is. Why is this place alone?
Yeah.
You ask him, you go to talk to him, he says, speak up quickly, be precise, use your tones. Reject, man. So imagine you've just got a drill instructor
I'm being abused by a cat bard.
so imagine drill instructor who's dressed like a lion.
Saying, offering you the questions you'll be asking.
Yeah.
If you speak asking it out loud, you're saying, well, we need to find out where we are, what's happening,
Yeah.
what's going through.
Yes, and we're not limited to a single enclosed question either. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, we know. That's just it.
That's
Says,
true.
enunciate.
I will do my best diplomacy things. Because diplomacy.
Your diplomacy well.
I diplomatize.
At this point, you're sort of noticing that Druzzle didn't actually enter the place with you.
You already noticed that because he didn't go through the doorway with us.
Yeah.
It's more noticeable to the others who didn't actually pay attention.
Yeah. Right. So, alright. I don't have any actual diplomatologist training yet, so that's not useful. Casting a spell at this point is a bit counterproductive because he'd notice and get annoyed. And probably try and cut my head off for trying to cast a spell on him. I will, on the other hand, use my actual, persuasion skill because that's for presenting this stuff as well. I could use performance, I suppose. That's not as good. So, carefully enunciating and projecting, and making sure to get my questions straight in my head beforehand. So I will
Give you advantage on the roll.
Yeah, I will inhale. Basically taking extra time, yeah. I will inhale as if to ask the question, hold for a couple of seconds while I get my question square in my head. Questions?
Okay.
Can you please, Your Majesty, inform us of why Castle Amber is excluded from the rest of the world, and more particular to why we are here, is Etienne d'Amberville available to speak to?
He looks at you with a bit of confusion. He seems to not understand when you say rest of the world.
I was expecting that.
And he says, we've always been here. This is everything.
At the moment.
You've always been here, he says.
which fits certain things, other things we've seen. Thank you, Your Majesty. So, what can you inform us, please, about Etienne d'Amberville? If anything at all.
He sleeps and cannot be woken. He is the curse.
He is the curse. Are there any writings on this? Any knowledge of why he is the curse and how? Please, Your Majesty.
The cats are searching.
Yes, you had your staff looking in the book. What are they looking for?
I will relay this and give it politely.
He pauses for a moment and has that look of, I have the cats looking for something. I'm not sure what they're looking for. But they're looking for something important.
Could you inform us, please, Your Majesty, where to find the castle library? If there is one.
Says yes. He thinks for a moment, and he directs you directly to where you came from. Where the cats were.
Might the item the cats and yourself are looking for would be related to this curse of Stephen?
I'm guessing so.
Possibly.
No, like I said, I'm asking the question.
So
And
Stephen,
in the sense that if he's obviously having trouble remembering, if you give him a prompt, it might jog his memory.
I will give him that prompt.
so he sort of scratches his chin and goes, Stephen, I remember I was going to beat Stephen. And then he sort of goes a bit vague again. He looks a little more less lion when he's thinking a more human.
Keep following up the questions.
Yeah. Give me a moment, please. I must confirm.
Why would you want to beat Stephen?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, I will confer with generally Peridea unless you come up with a question, and then I will present the question.
Peridea is effectively treating it as an interrogation from his old watch days at this stage.
Which is why I'm going to be putting it all politely.
So what you remember of the family, Etienne or Stephen, is actually the head of the family and de facto ruler.
Right. But
Which means in a lot of the family lines, he who kills the king can be the king.
yes.
So that's right. So when it comes up next and stuff, so you were looking to beat Stephen to usurp his rule?
Well, to carry on his rule would be the way. Seeing the it's approximately legitimate.
Who else is in this family?
At this point I have to change my age too. I have a question.
How big is the family, Amber?
Yeah.
The family Amber is always as big as this has always been.
So who's in the family, Amber?
They have.
So that's the picture they show of him.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
So do you have any brothers and sisters?
Many.
Cousins, fathers, aunts?
No fathers.
Is Etienne your brother?
Eddie and Stephen thing. Yes.
Just trying to figure
Which
that part
also-
out myself.
Also implies to me, given what he's been saying, the curse not only has his brother asleep, but also protects him from all harm. Because
And
otherwise, he'd have done something about it already.
from what you can figure out, Richard.
Unless the curse carries over and he doesn't aware it.
So Richard is not a spellcaster in any shape or form, and even in the timeline you're thinking of, a non-spellcaster in Galantree was a nobody.
Yeah.
So even if you could defeat his,
It's not going to do anything useful.
and you believe it is his brother,
Yeah.
But does he give a response as to whether Etienne is his brother?
Do you ask him?
Yes.
Well, they say I'm asking. Well,
Okay.
basically, Penadier is nosing around the room that we came into, like the first bedroom, because I'm assuming that basically Lewell's at the doorway still, because the king hasn't invited him inside.
Yep.
So Penadier is basically nosing around and calling out questions as he overhears the conversation. Which apparently, Plural is often reinterpreting on the fact that apparently the king won't hear anything that Penadier says.
Yes.
It's obviously observant to
as I said, I'm relaying it. The other one is if you're speaking quietly, I will do it at normal speaking.
I'm not aiming to speak particularly quietly because I'm curious at the fact that apparently you can ignore me. So.
Yes.
Okay, so while you're looking around the room, do you peek between the sheets?
Yep. They say,
Look everywhere.
that Stephen was sleeping before potentially have a look to see whether or not this is really sleeping.
Okay, so opening it up, you see what would best be described as a hideous creature lying in the bed,
Right.
dressed in fine silks.
So I will call back over my shoulder saying, "Is this Stephen?" Is going to do this at all when I open the curtains?
Well, the hideous creature is staring directly at you and says, in very bad common, "My, you're a big boy."
Am I big compared to them?
No, you're small. You're small compared to what appears to be a her. It's hard to tell.
Oh dear.
You do recognise that she is an ogre.
And probably quite good looking for an ogre.
You do not appear to be Stephen.
No, I am Janet. And you come to my bed?
It's been a long time, Peridot.
We've been talking to Richard.
You're not important. Bed more important. Want to come to bed?
Not just now, not particularly tired yet at this stage.
Not tired either.
I would not wish to disturb your beauty sleep.
Not help. Sleep not help.
Getting tired for sleep help. Yeah. Sigh.
You look like you're good outdoors. You wild man?
I spend a bit of time outside.
You run hard long?
Sorry?
You run hard long?
I can maintain myself where I need to.
You do, she says. She holds out her hand to you.
You still going to get out of bed?
Hard to tell.
She's looking to getting something out of bed.
So, Janet, have you been here long? It was getting back a bit to leave room for her to get out of bed.
She seems to fumble in your direction. Too long. Need distraction. You're distracting?
Distracting? It was going to get back again to allow more space for her to get out to get into it.
She seems to pout in your direction. I'm sure the pout makes the previous look so much more attractive.
Do I refer you by any other names, lady?
They all call me Janet.
Are you friends with Richard here?
Richard, tell everyone what to do. Richard in charge.
I said Stephen was in charge.
Stephen not say much.
So where's Stephen?
Not sure, not seen. So not say much. Richard talk lots.
But Stephen was in charge before he stopped talking.
Not seen Stephen, not heard Stephen. Heard Richard. Richard talk lots.
But Stephen was in charge.
Everyone says Stephen in charge. No one talk to Stephen. Richard now in charge.
So Stephen's not in charge.
Till Stephen says something, Richard in charge.
Do Stephen and Richard know each other well?
Not sure, never met Stephen.
And you know he's in charge?
Richard said so.
But Richard said he's not in charge. Richard said he's in charge.
You confusing.
I just don't understand.
Go back to sleep. Bad dream.
Indeed.
She rolls over and pulls blankets over her head.
Okay, well, I will allow her to return to her beauty rest.
A few more centuries on that one.
Might not help.
Did the conversation between Richard and Lou go any further during that time?
They didn't seem to progress much because every time he got close to apparently breaking through to the guy got unreasonably angry.
Yeah, part of the problem is he's evidenced a lack of being able to focus on anything in the past.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are being held in the constant present.
Yeah, so I can understand it.
But you've also been able to witness he does have an enchantment around him. He's under a compulsion.
Yeah, pretty well everyone who is.
Which you're able to actually identify with that conversation.
Yeah, plus looking at him with my magic eyes.
Was he able to confirm or deny, or at least think about whether or not what the relationship between he and Simon was?
Yeah, I'm going to try and tease out what member of the family is which.
And then also whether or not Janet here is supposed to be part of the family?
Or is someone's servant or toy or whatever.
Better you can say keep looking around the room. So.
Okay, so I actually have a handout before that. Isn't that handy?
It is.
Okay, so the Amberville tree.
I will take notes as I am teasing this out.
So Stefan is married to Catherine, who's married to Henry, who's married to Adeline. And
Right. So
Is
I
that
don't.
like
It's
a legalist marriage, or was that marriage after the previous wives died?
there seems to be dates on there. I can't see it quite from here.
It might have been after one died, they married another.
Yes, it looks like that's it. That's normally how that goes because having a poly relationship would be carefully delineated and written in the book.
And so
It's
they
unusual, that's right.
had their
Yeah.
children of Annette, Richard, and Camelia, who married Sebastian, who had children of Madeline and Charles.
Yeah.
And then there's a side branch of William and Odette, who had children of Janet, Gemma, and who married Yves, who had
Or
children of Isadora and Andrew David, whereas Jeanette had a child, Gaston. Then another side branch is Simon. He's the only thing in that branch.
Yep.
And another branch is Paula and Yvette. Paul, who married Yvette, and Mary Helen, who married Roger, with children of Gistian and Hilaire. Hilaire, who
Yes.
also have children of Nicole and Mary Teresa, whereas Paul and Yvette had children of John Louis and Isabel. Now, trying to figure out how that goes to the actual write-up that I read earlier is very hard to tell
Hang on, so
because
you said that Richard had children the last of whom, sorry, Stephen had children, the last of whom was Richard. Is that what you said?
Stephen had children. Well, hard to tell because of all the links they have. I don't think he actually had any children himself.
No, there's no issue from the Stephen Catherine.
Yep.
It's only from Henry and Madeline.
Well, the amount of deceased members in there are quite shocking.
Yeah, rather a lot of them.
Yep. So this one says that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 alive at the moment.
And all 3 of those kids died, or all 3 of that generation died in Williams Branch.
Mm-hmm. Including the one you're talking to.
Apparently. It may just be a duplicated name.
What
Or
was that one?
Janet.
Janet is listed as deceased.
Yep, Janet is listed as deceased as a child of William. The Janet we're talking to is an ogre. It may be someone's memory of her. This place may be essentially virtual.
Well, okay. While listening with half an ear to the conversation between Richard and Paul, Pettideer's searching Janet's bedroom.
Okay. So while you're searching Janet's bedroom, give me a perception check.
24.
Okay, so you managed to find inside the fireplace that there is a body hidden up the chimney
Wow.
in an advanced state of decay with a neck clearly broken.
Her neck clearly broken.
Yep.
So not Father Christmas then. No sleep.
I will attempt to carefully bring the body down out into the bedroom. Tidal, can you come and give me a hand?
It seems to be jammed in there. You're going to have to basically destroy a big chunk of the body to pull it out.
So, yeah, break it up and bring it out.
Can, but isn't the fire going to be damaging while we do this?
The fire's not on.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise he wouldn't have seen it.
Well, isn't Janet going to be pissed if she sees us doing this?
Well, no, she's gone back to sleep, apparently.
Oh. Okay.
Close the curtains back on the bed.
Sure.
I'm assuming there's a...
Cool, just don't...
It does have curtains around it.
Just don't
So
drop anything.
there are drapes mocking you around the bed.
But it's alright, they're not coming to windows, so I don't count as curtains.
Yeah, I'll get to them later. I'll help with the body thing.
Okay, as you walk past, they move slightly.
I'm watching you curtains.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a wisdom check.
Well, that's shit. That's a 4.
Okay, looking at the curtains are mocking you. You can see the curtains moving as if it's breathing. There's a breathing, living curtain staring at you while you're walking past it. You even see the eye in the curtains as it stares at you. Big round eye.
I'm gonna punch the curtain.
Okay.
That's 16 to punch the curtain.
Okay, you swing and you feel a really meaty thud as you hit the curtain.
Yeah, take that curtain.
Give me a damage roll.
2.
2, and blood just spurts out between the curtains. As you hear a king go, "Oh! He hit me! How dare he hit me!"
You made someone bleed with your fist. 2 hit points of damage.
The curtain did it, not me.
Obviously. The curtain is lined on the back end with blades.
Exactly.
That's how it kills people.
It gets in your mind and pretends to speak to you. This is how it does this.
And you hear a call out, he punched me in the eye.
Tidal, what are you disturbing Janet for?
I'm getting the curtain, not Janet.
No, come here and help me with this body.
And the whole bed starts to shake. All the curtains wobble as you hear the crying Janet, with some horrific sounding sobs as the bed shakes
Rude
and mocks you.
bastard.
I'll quickly try and get the body out.
Okay. Apparently, while you're standing there, he rushes over, reaches up, and just yanks the body out. With the sound of snapping bones, the body comes out.
You only need half of it, right?
He actually wants all of it. He needs to
I
see
feel
the
I could have grabbed that easily. I definitely was looking for help to ensure we did that carefully.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get the other half out then. Just gonna point out to be glad this isn't wrapped in a carpet.
Still watching the curtains as he does so, he reaches up and pulls the other half out.
Yep.
crunch, crack.
And then he feels this silk all over his hands.
Silk? Okay.
Some of the clothing on the body.
It was wrapped in curtains.
Ooh, mother trucker.
Oh.
Okay.
Another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, he said the curtains killed her.
Please make it this time. We need this body.
There we go. That's a 20 non-natural.
They mock you, but they shall not beat you.
Yeah. I'll pull the body out, but I'm still
Yes.
miffed at this body.
Yep. Well, most of the curtains, just fall apart if you pull the body out. It releases its hidden treasures as you rip it to shreds.
That's impressive. It's
I'm
actually
gonna-
hard to rip
I'm
silk.
going to leave it to you while I go,
Thank you.
make sure the curtain's not going to attack us. The other curtain.
The curtains are fine.
They just cried.
No, Janet cried. Possibly you should go and calm her down.
Apologise. Give her a hug.
You see the entire bed shaking with her crying.
I'm not well versed in consoling her.
You weren't very well versed
Kind?
when you had your last interesting encounter.
Well,
This is where Drazzle gets to write a book about him and his half-ogre kid.
Hey, look, the kid could be older than you by the time you meet it.
Just get her to quieten down.
Yeah.
okay. I'll go and apologise to Janet.
Betty will more carefully unwrap the body and see what we can find.
I have no idea what I'm rolling for.
Okay, so
Apology.
as you open the curtain, there's a shriek. The entire bed seems to try to leap on top of you.
Of course, because
The bed's a mimic.
she's being attacked.
Give me a
She's being attacked by the curtains.
Well,
dexterity saving throw.
Janet's coming to greet her and we eat the bed with her.
Yes.
Yes. That's 21.
Okay, so the bed starts flying you up towards the roof. You manage to just backflip out of the way of the bed as it tips over and slams into the wall. You can see a sort of hand just limply fall out from underneath the bed. She rolled a 1.
She knocked herself out.
I'm just going to kind of look at the bed.
He could have been included in that.
He could have been.
The bed tried to eat you and you got out of the way. The curtains were waiting for you. They allowed you in a false sense of security.
Pretty.
What?
She's calm, but there's a slight problem.
What have you done now?
Just look at the bed for me.
Betty will look up a strip from the body that he was looking at.
Yeah, apparently he flipped the bed.
Why?
She did that herself. I was trying to work out how to calm her, and then apparently this happened, so...
As soon as you opened the curtain, it was all the curtains full.
Exactly, those damn curtains. See, this is what curtains do to you. This is why you don't put curtains on a poster bed.
There's spells for this.
Burning hands?
No. Although it's tempting.
Is she okay under there?
I should hope so.
Well, have you checked?
No, what if she wakes up and punches me?
What if the curtain's going while he's doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
We'd have to get within reach of the curtains to touch her.
Can you hear her snoring?
I don't know. Roll up perception.
Give me a perception roll.
Um, 9.
You are free of any noise of snoring whatsoever. You are perfectly happy.
Nope.
Okay. Kennedy got 19 on perception. Did he hear her snoring?
Nope, can't hear her snoring either.
Nice.
And it's a no-go. You'd hear it.
I mean, I can poke the arm if you really want, but I don't know if that'll help or anything.
So what am I looking at, Mark?
So you're looking at a upside down bed.
I mean,
the body?
The two halves of the body, though.
So the two halves of the body look like that the body looks like it's been dead for maybe 6 months or more, and it looks in a rapid state of decay.
Mhm. Any identifying marks or jewelry or anything like that?
Of any really look of it, it does look feminine. It looked like it was in its 20s to 30s, and that there are no signs of animals or insects that you'd expect in a body at this age. There's also the only damage the body seemed to have taken is the broken neck, besides being
and
damaged.
equal in half.
Yeah. Well, before death.
It sounds from that this fireplace hasn't had a fire in it for the whole time. Because otherwise she'd have been baked
Well, that would not be surprising considering it's only been a single morning.
for 6 months. Yes.
Can I tell how the neck might have got broken?
Looks like the head got twisted around the other way.
Ew. That's the sort of thing an ogre does.
I was going to say, can I see any evidence of large handprints either around the neck or the head or anything like that?
Give me an investigate roll.
16, 22.
Okay, so you can see bruises probably the size of your fist that you'd think would be the fingertips.
So, ogre, right.
I wonder if in fact this is Janet.
Quite possibly. It's a bit scary, but yes.
Well, hey, most people never actually imagine what an ogre could do if it tried.
Or they usually expect them to use a tree.
Or by accident.
That too.
Creatures that regenerate don't understand the concept of non-regeneration.
Yes.
I will come and look over at the hand that's poking out.
Yep.
And compare it to my hypothesis as to whether or not that hand is the same size.
Yeah, it looks about the same size.
You've done something useful by beating her up.
The hand also doesn't seem to show any sign of movement.
The curtain might still get him.
Oh, okay, I'm not actually touching the hand, but yes, I'm not seeing any evidence of the movement there.
You may have persuaded her to kill herself.
The curtains did that. I did nothing.
Well, I wonder
You
whether
poked her in the eye.
I poked the curtain. She just happened to be on the other side of it.
Murderer.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is that the murderer should be tried and executed.
Maybe.
Do you lift the bed and look?
Did it lift itself?
Based on the evidence I've found, Martin,
Yep.
he's fairly confident in the assessment that probably this ogre killed the young lady.
Quite possibly, but it's also quite possible at the same time for a place such as this that the ogre is indeed also the young lady.
Admittedly,
No, it is. Oh, it is and was.
timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly sort of stuff do happen in, time travel.
You curtain enabler, you.
I will lightly touch the wrist that's poking out. Could I feel a pulse?
No,
No, just a Rolex.
no pulse whatsoever. You're looking for a Rolex?
He said, does he feel the pulse? I said, no, just a Rolex.
Well, I have to take that off to be able to feel the pulse.
So who's going to be the new Janet?
Well, apparently the one who kills Janet becomes Janet.
I thought we were playing, D&D, not Betrayal of House on the Hill, but, correct me if I'm wrong.
Here's a point.
Which one? The one that he who kills Janet becomes Janet, or we're not playing House on the Hill?
I'm pretty
No,
sure
we're-
House on the Hill is also a D&D adventure.
Yes.
Fair
well, yeah. No, it's an adventure based on Castle Amber from Zelazny's books.
They actually
where
do have
They
a.
do weird stuff.
They do have a D&D version of it now. Betrayal at
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. That uses the same mechanic.
Well, I will see if I can move things enough to find out whether Janet is alive.
Okay, so you manage to move things around slightly, and you uncover the fact that she seemed to have strangled herself in the curtains while falling out of bed and pulling on top of herself.
Curtains did do it.
See? Told you there's curtains.
So, title has struck again.
Indeed.
Curtains strong again. I don't know what you're talking about.
They always seem to happen around title that way.
If you hadn't punched the curtain, she'd be alive.
If I hadn't punched the curtain, we would have made this discovery.
That's true. Part of it, anyway.
And considering it's 10:30, that might be a good point to stop tonight.
Yes.
Okay, then, yep.
So I'm still talking to King Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pseudo King Richard.
I'm assuming he hasn't paid any attention to what may or might be slightly visible through the doorway.
He has not.
No, I'm distracting him.
He,
Well, I
Um,
was
yeah.
thinking we could be playing a black band in the next room. I don't think he's bothering him at all.
Probably not. He's. I get the
Well, let's
impression.
face it, we tried flying over a bed, pulling
Yeah.
out bodies out of chimneys.
Yeah. Well, that bed going over is going to make a hell of a noise.
Maybe it's
Why
I-
randomly to you to
Yeah.
pass on questions.
Yes, I get the impression, a very strong impression, that their memories are very, very localized in time. They're basically, even though they know about things that are a while ago, their actual memories only go back to basically this morning. They just know that things have happened in the past, and some of them know how long it's been.
Or at least they know it's been a while, but not necessarily
Yeah.
understand exactly what the time is.
That's right. But they're all time looped.
But see,
Yeah.
that's the advantage, is that if we end up happening to accidentally kill someone, we can just say, how long have you been dead for since morning? And it'll be fine.
Well, as far as everyone's concerned, everything's happened since the morning.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. Which means you don't have to worry about anyone finding Janet as long as they find it tomorrow. Because it means they'll never find it
Yes.
until after we're done.
Right, yes.
Well, by definition, it'll be after we're done.
Exactly.
Or
And-
when we're not done, in which case it won't matter.
That's right.
Because either we're still trying to make it happen, or we're also done.
Yes.
Well, whoever was in the chimney was very well done.
Well, they weren't cooked at all.
That was the problem.
So, there's not been any fire since they got stuffed up there.
No.
They were undercooked.
On the other hand, they are naturally jerked because they've been in an airflow or what is potentially an airflow, for 6 months. It also means I really don't want to look at what's in the fireplace. Because that's going to be the rest of them.
That's actually the first evidence of decay.
Yep.
Like this is the fact that they say, if she did die this morning, 6 months ago,
Yes.
the like it was like the gardens outside,
Yeah. But
they hadn't changed it all.
no. But
But
you do.
apparently dying means you can time will affect you.
Yeah, she died this morning 6 months ago. She's had 6 months worth of this morning to tonight, or morning to morning, worth of decay.
Exactly. That's
So it's still 6 months.
no one else has had 6 months of decay.
No,
So,
no. Also, they probably haven't eaten for 6 months either.
well, they haven't needed to. They haven't needed to eat
No, they
snacks.
haven't. Well, they've probably had one or two meals and that's it. They
Well,
just
they
keep
know
having the
that-
same one.
Except of course I have to provide water and things like that at boxing.
Yes.
Don't everyone need a little refreshment at the boxing ring?
Yes. Which
Okay,
also
well, we'll have to think about it, and I will catch you guys tomorrow or next week or the week after.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Which gives Mark.